Hi there. We decided to do another podcast, I guess you could say it. I mean, this is probably the very bare bones minimum you could consider this to be a podcast, but whatever. It's my channel. I'll do what I want. And I'm once again joined by my good buds.
Hello.
I
Take your time with the intro, why don't you?
Sorry, it's just that awkward
sorry.
pause. Hello,
Yeah,
everybody. Hello, everybody. This is TF Ultra Good. Oh, sorry.
Wait, what the hell?
Sorry, I didn't want to talk over Justin.
no,
Okay.
it's all right.
I thought I was expecting you to do some sort of joke that I may or may not have to worry about just biting me in the ass with like the copyright bullcrap.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
you were gonna introduce us, and then we were just gonna say hi.
Well, let me just. All right, let me just. Let me just continue on with this. So yeah, as you can probably tell by the well, what's on your screen right now, if you're watching this, is that we're going to be doing something Batman related. We meant to do this a hell of a lot sooner, but life is a bastard.
Tell me about it.
It is.
And yeah,
Yes.
we're going to be doing a tier list of the villains from the titular Batman the Animated Series. And number one reason is just sort of a tribute to the late Kevin Conroy, who recently passed away this year. Was it this year or last
Yes,
year?
this year. Well,
Quickly. But
I can't
yes.
remember.
Yeah. I think I could speak for all of us here when I say, boys, that Batman the Animated Series was ultimately what got so many of us into comic book characters in the first place, especially the Dark Knight himself.
Of course.
Indeed. So, I mean, you can't really say it right now because I'm not risking showing off all these damn advertisements they put on these tier list templates because, well, YouTube.
Right.
But
I think if you have a really good ad blocker, you might be able to censor that stuff out.
I'll consider that. But I'll leave a link in the description down below. But this list actually has a very expand is pretty expansive. It doesn't just strictly go from the show. It's gone with some of the expandatory comics, which I haven't read. So those characters are going to be. I hate to exclude them, but I have not read the comics. I don't know enough about the comics. I cannot comment on these characters, and I won't just because I don't think that would be fair. But a grand
I,
majority of these characters, I actually have a decent grasp on.
Same.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we're all kind of in that same boat.
So, you know,
Honestly, I think it's very fitting that for this sorry, for this specific tier list, if there's one thing anyone who's a fan of Batman can say, the Dark Knight, and I'm not just talking DC, I'm talking comics in general, boys. The Dark Knight easily has one of the most recognizable and one of the most funnest rogues galleries in all of comics.
some
Oh, no one's arguing there.
I mean, you think of well written DC villains, 99% of the time you're thinking, I mean, Batman's Rose Gallery.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, oh, and I should also say the template I'm using, it also bleeds into the Superman animated series a little bit because I'm noticing a very, very familiar bald guy in a nice suit voiced by Clancy Brown.
Well, that might also have to
Oh
do with that.
yeah.
That also might have to do with that crossover movie.
Not
Which
knocking.
technically is canon. I mean, technically it is
Yes.
canon.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
but still, part of me wants just is kind of saying that's Superman's villain. So
I mean, I mean, he's technically also a Batman villain from time to time, so I feel like it's justifiable in counting him.
yeah, well, that's still it's still probably gonna have an effect considering that's he's mostly dealing with with Superman. But we'll just start with the villain that was the actually supposed to feature in the very first episode, production wise. That would be Man Bat, Dr. Kirk Langstrom himself. And his episode alone was honestly just kind of a great way to get you ready for just what you are in store when it came to Batman the Animated Series. And yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say I had no idea that technically Man Bat's episode was supposed to be first production-wise. That's some interesting trivia there, Tom.
Yeah, first one they fully animated, voice acted, and the whole shebang. The first one that was released in order we'll get into with the next set of villains, but
Right.
But honestly, just the way the episode was done was sort of just this Jekyll and Hyde creepy transformation that I am surprised the censors didn't just nuke from orbit with how it was depicted.
Dude, there were a lot of stuff in the 90s. I'm impressed they got away with in this type of these shows.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, they.
I mean, we'll probably talk more about it when we get to other villains, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, we definitely will. I'm thinking for Man Bat Boys, like, he's definitely iconic, but I would definitely say he's not iconic. Like, he's definitely not an S tier. I would say the highest I'm willing to go for him is maybe a B. I can't really see him any higher than that.
I'm inclined to agree. B seems like B for the bat.
I mean, yeah, he is a great villain, but yeah, I mean...
Well, technically, he's not always a villain. He's basically just a mindless animal.
Yeah, that is true.
True.
But to be fair, I mean, look at what he... Oh, sorry, go on.
I just feel like the only reason we can't rank him any higher than is just because we didn't really get enough of him.
Yeah, fair enough.
I will say I like his design. Like,
I like
how they kind of found a good hybridized mix between going for the human and the bat aspect, whereas
like
I kind of feel the Arkham game. Yeah, the only other design I feel that really is on par with this one is the one from the Batman.
And of course, thank God that this version from the animated series decided to use fruit bats.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we have the one from the Arkham games, which we don't talk about that Man Bat. We never talk about that Man Bat.
Dude, that one scared the living... I'm going to say it right now. That one scared the absolute shit out of me first time playing.
Kill it with fire!
Like, I'm just like, oh my... It was like... the best way, it was like a fucking Dark Souls boss encounter.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was meant to be scary. It's freaking Man Bat.
I was like, what is this eldritch abomination that has crawled out of the depths of hell? Except there isn't enough going on in this goddamn city.
Right? So, B for Man Bat. B for the Bat.
Yeah.
Oh, you're stealing my jokes already?
No, just kidding.
You try to do an evil laugh, but you're just not very successful. I have the better evil laughs.
Hey, come on, guys. This isn't a laugh-waving contest.
No, you're right.
Piss off. We're having fun. Next up is another iconic one, and I'm not even going to comment on the shading on it. Thank God I'm not showing this because I know YouTube would smack me in the ass so hard. But next up, we got Selena Kyle herself, Catwoman.
Yeah.
Dude, automatic S.
Do we even need to waffle this? Even there's a reason they chose her as the premier villain to show off, and I love the interesting twist that she's kind of more of the environmentalist trying to help endangered species, which is an interesting angle with like the whole cat theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed. That's the thing you'll notice about Catwoman with every new depiction of her. They always find a new interesting spin on her to weave, and it always kind of works. Like, say what you want about the Halle Berry movie, fellas, but I still felt like the twist they had there was fine.
Really think so?
I mean, yeah, the problem with that movie is just the production behind it, but that's a
Yeah, that
topic
was
for another
pretty
time.
much. Yeah, that movie was pretty much production hell.
Exactly.
Halle Berry.
So, like,
No disrespect to Halle Berry, she's a good actress.
I agree.
Well, now we've got just like a bunch of the comic book ones, and I can pick a couple of these out of the crowd. I'm noticing I can see the Black Spider, but again, haven't read the comics, don't know them from a hole in the ground. Not going to comment
We have
because that's just not fair. Like they
we
get,
have
we
we
have
have
Red Claw, who was the first kind of big villain to be introduced, which was,
And
you know,
from what I've gathered,
considering they just took a stab at the dark and not introducing any like really recognizable members of the Rogues Gallery, and I'm not aware of her appearances in any other media prior
actually,
to.
I think she's one of the first original villains that was made for the show.
Yeah,
I
and we'll
think you
get
might
to
be
another
Rustin.
original villain for this show, but you know, patience, everyone, patience. But I
Right.
honestly, for her first appearance, I gotta say the way it was handled, especially for the '90s, I give it a round of applause. I say she's an easy A tier because, you know, she was such a foil to Catwoman with the cat theme, but you know where she was willing to perform straight up eco terrorism
Yeah.
True.
or just
And the
biological warfare. Geneva Convention is more what you would call a guideline than real rules to her.
Right.
That's putting it mildly.
But it's
I mean, I
true.
do agree. It's like her. I agree though. Her episode was iconic as hell.
Well, her arc really. She had 2 episodes. Now I forget. Okay, this one I remember. I can't remember this guy's name, but I remember this is the guy with the invisibility suit, and I just remember first time watching this episode and just realizing he's breaking into a house with a young girl. I was like, nope, nope, nope. I was noping the fuck out of this. I was like, nope, nope, no, 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 no.
Almost not.
And I breathed the biggest sigh of relief. I'm just, oh, this guy just wants to be around his daughter. This is his daughter. He just wants to be around her. This somehow just like gave me the biggest sigh of relief, even though it's still creepy as hell.
Yeah.
What are we thinking for
I
this
mean,
guy?
I mean, this was one of the more one-off villains, but and
Oh,
I mean, let's.
if you click on the hang on, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Like I clicked on his picture icon to open it up in another tab here. And it actually when you do that, it actually does reveal their names.
Oh shit.
This guy's name is Lloyd Ventrix.
Okay. That's gonna be a big help with like
little on
you
the
know,
nose for that naming, don't you think?
that's gonna be a big help for remembering some of these guys. But yeah, Lloyd here. It was pretty interesting. Like, yeah, usually he'd be your generic Joe Schmo mook, but that suit gave our titular Cape Crusader a run for his money, considering he had to fight who he couldn't see.
So what are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Um, it's probably
Maybe
dickish
B or
to put
C?
him. I'm thinking D because again, this
D?
minus the
Huh?
suit, he is just something of like small fry. But definitely
True.
a an example of some of the weird crap you can face when cleaning up the streets of Gotham City. Fortunately, he wasn't a recurring threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Next up we have Toy Maker.
before
Yeah.
y'all start throwing shade at him, I want to point out just why at least his episode stands out to me. Because this was sort of as many people point out, this is the episode where we found out our hero has a hero, and we managed to get 2 Batman actors in an episode, Yes, Kevin
Oh,
Conroy,
yeah.
but the
Yep.
Gray Ghost was
Yep.
voiced by Adam West.
Yes.
So
The
credit where
Rest
it's
his
original.
due,
homie
that
bones.
episode was just stellar.
Oh, I agree. The episode itself
Oh, yeah.
was fine. Toymaker himself is just F tier.
Yeah.
Worst. Get him out of here.
You know
Probably
what?
the
I can't.
best one.
I'm not. I mean, I can't really. I can't really argue for this guy's case.
So you're gonna put him in F?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we.
Pointless.
Yeah,
I'm
good
sorry.
episode, just
I'm
kind
sorry.
of a
He's
lame
pointless
villain.
to me. He's
Yeah,
just
good.
pointless to me.
All right. Next up
I mean, to be
is.
Who
a
is this
Clock
guy?
King.
I remember. No, not
No,
Clock
no,
King. No. I know
no,
that.
it's not that.
I know the son of a bitch. Yeah, he was in that
Nostromo.
one like cult episode, which is like, frankly, and I mean this to God, is like, the crate factor is just the realism to him, and believe me, especially in this day, people will believe any sort of idiotic bullshit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this was. I can't remember. But this was the episode where Bruce Wayne loses his memory, right?
Nope.
Or am I thinking of a different one?
You're thinking of you are you're thinking of a completely
Okay.
different one. But yeah, this guy was a known con artist that basically this is the DC version of the guy who made Scientology.
That's a little on the nose.
I don't care. I'm gonna put him in C because his concept's really cool, even though he did ended up just kind of being just street sweeped. And I know what you're thinking. This has been a lot of mediocrity so far, but don't worry, we're getting into another good one. This is another like gut puncher of an arc with this villain, and that is none other than Clayface.
Heck yeah.
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 Now, I believe there were a lot of different Clayfaces in the original comics.
Comic.
None of them had the shape shifting ability, but the original one was Basil Carlo.
Basil Carl.
And this
Yes.
one they went with I think it's an original character, Matt Hagen,
Look,
who's
Matt
still
Hagen.
an actor.
Yeah. That
Now-
was they kind of took the Basil Carlos thing and just gave it to someone else.
Yeah, but you know, the story behind
Also-
what happened, the performance by Ron Perlman, and just generally the
Oh,
feel
yeah.
is
How could you go
I
wrong
actually-
with him?
and not to mention, I believe they actually hired a Japanese studio to do all the animation for Clayface because it is some of the best animation I think this character has ever seen. Like, they really fed into sort of the body horror aspects with his shape shifting.
Yes. Still making
like
it,
straight-
you know.
Family friendly, but
Yeah.
just
Right.
oh my god.
A or S tier
they're-
easily for Clayface.
S really? We're putting him that high? I mean, I'm not complaining.
Like, dude, like his episode, like easily most of his episodes are just such a memorable gut punch
That is
because
true.
you can't help
Like,
but feel for how he's going through. He was a great actor. Went through got used by Roland Daggett, lost everything because he was turned into this monster, and he can't just stay in his human form for long because his shape shifting. Yeah, it's like flexing a muscle, as he said in the episode.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't argue that because, like,
Yeah,
I agree, man. Like every time Clayface showed up in an episode, even with the newer stuff, as the DCAU went along, he was always delightful. He was always entertaining to watch, and I think easily one of my favorite gut puncher episodes, other than his debut episode, I would probably say is the episode that introduced Annie, the little girl that was made from him.
That was that
Poor
was
Tim.
another poor kid.
I know.
All right,
They say your first crush is always the most painful.
yeah, but as typical with the Bat family, nothing's ever standard. Now
No, it is
I recognize this ginger bastard.
Roland Daggett.
Ah, the motherfucker that did this to Hagen. Now,
How fitting the next.
he was one of the recurring crime bosses of the series, kind of the more grounded, you know, shady, sketch ass businessmen, similar to Rupert Thorne, or he didn't show up in this series, but some I guess they were like his new version of Roman Sionis or Black Mask.
Yeah,
So
kinda.
Daggett
I
was
would say,
always kind of like the one spinning the webs of a lot of schemes. And while that was
well, he.
impressive, most I can give him is either a B or C because he wasn't really a recurring threat.
Well, I would say he's at least a B because he did show up quite a few times, and even though he's just a street thug, he's one of those street thugs that you kind of need someone like this just to kind of take the attention away from the crazies like the Joker or Two Face and stuff like that.
Give a dash of
Yeah,
realism to what's going on.
it's true. I
Yeah,
mean, that
like
is kind of how Batman started out in the original comics.
You know what?
exact.
I can't really argue all too much about that. Now we got another familiar face and someone else who damn near made me piss myself when I was playing through the Arkham games. Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc. Now I will say, out of all the
Oh boy!
characters, all the character redesigns and the new Batman adventures, this guy got done justice. Because at least he's actually freaking green.
Yeah, I always thought the gray look was kind of weird, but
It just made him look more pale and like almost
There
like he's
was
an albino.
there was almost nothing really giving you the hint that this guy was a crocodile. Maybe if they added a few more scoots to his back, but even then, that would kind of be generous. That is a now while I'm kind and that's sort of what ended up dragging him down throughout most of the animated series. But they started playing more towards how his mutation affected him, throughout his life more as we got into the new Batman adventures. And at the risk of a hot mic moment, I think they, when they got to that, they handled Croc way better than just, I threw a rock at him.
it was a big rock.
Yeah, where he
That
just
was
where
hilarious.
they kind of where they just I mean it's funny, but at the same time it's like I can't like you can't take it. It's like in the beginning, it's like you can't take him serious.
I
Yeah,
admit Croc is so while Croc is definitely one of my favorites. I gotta bring him down to C, if only because when we got to the new Batman adventures, that really skyrocketed him as a character.
yeah. Plus, C for
If we were,
Croc.
yep, I feel like if we were doing like the Arkham games, which I feel like we're gonna get to that at some point, this guy would definitely make higher on the list.
Oh, I won't argue that at all. Now we get on to the next femme fatale that was an original character of the animated series and
One
has
that
just been
really skyrocketed.
it just like came into a light of her own. Harley Quinn.
Ass.
I don't
Fun
even think.
fact,
Oh, go ahead.
yes, like okay, but so a little fun trivia for those of you who don't know how Harley Quinn's origin story came about, like how she was conceptualized was Paul Dini, one of the writers for Batman the Animated Series, and he's actually had a pretty good tenure at DC Comics, and I think he still works for them on and off again now.
Holy
But he
should.
was, anyways, he came up with the idea for Harley Quinn as a sort of hench girl for the Joker, and so when he was writing the character, he actually reached out to his good friend, comedian Eileen Sorkin, saying, "Hey, I think you would really do a good job of playing this character. Would you be interested?" And Eileen, being of course the good friend she was like, "Of course I'd be interested, Paul." So, that's how that whole spiel got started. But again, like we said, boys, Harley Quinn was originally conceived to just be initially she was just going to be a one-off character, but because of how
Right.
popular she was in her debut episode, they realized DC realized they'd struck gold, and so they kept her around.
And we're glad they did.
Oh yeah, like
Hell yes.
it made her one of the most compelling characters of
Oh yeah, she's
of the animated series. Especially when we got to
all
Mad
these-
Love.
Yeah, it's probably the darkest episode of the series.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
one.
yeah, because
That
Be
is.
able to get away
Ugh.
with nowadays.
Yeah,
Again,
it's just.
you would-
that was. I mean, it's straight up. It straight up goes into domestic abuse.
Oh yeah.
Which is really weird that is considered the harshest thing we've seen the Joker do. Considering in one of the episodes, he straight up tries to fucking nuke all of the Gotham City. But that's the power of writing, I guess.
Yeah.
But Harley, it's like, guys, come on. I think there's no need in debating it. She's an automatic S tier. She's iconic as hell. She's just a fun character, and despite being a bad person,
I still feel sorry for her.
like she's obviously not. I mean, even before Joker corrupted her, she was never really what you would call a model citizen. But the reason she is as messed up as she is because of Joker.
Yeah, let's face it. I mean, Joker's sly enough to sell ice cubes to Eskimos, so it's no surprise he could turn his shrink loony.
Yeah. Well, like
It's
you
just-
said, she was never really a model citizen. I guess you could kind of say Joker was sort of the quote straw that broke the camel's back.
That's very true.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he knew she was easy pickings.
Okay. These next two schmucks.
Joker's henchmen. I forget their names.
I want to say this is.
Yeah.
I don't think this is Rocco and. Oh, I'm remembering the son of a bitch holding the newspaper now. This is when Joker
Yep.
realized
There's
Harley and
Rocco.
Ivy were
Yeah, it's
working
Rocco.
together.
And the other one is
Oh, yeah.
Henshaw.
Rocco and Henshaw.
Considering these two throughout the
I would
series
just
was
say-
working with Joker and survived, at least gives them a D tier because again, they're
I bet
two of
people-
Joker's henchmen for multiple episodes and survive.
So that's a good way to put it.
Exactly.
How many
They're
people
doing
can
something. So as henchmen, they clearly are doing something right.
Well, even Joker realizes you need helping hands, so
Are you
Yeah.
kidding? I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, just how do I put this? Okay. Okay, at the risk of stepping on some toes, employment in villainy with the Joker is sort of like what's going on with Canada's you know what? I'm not even gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna stop myself because I don't need that sort of shit.
you don't.
I'm just gonna leave that on the if you know basis. People could probably guess what I was about to say, but you know what? I'm just gonna stop.
Probably
Actually,
best.
I think I know how the best way to put it. You basically have better survival rates as a kamikaze pilot.
Yeah. Next up, we have good old Clock King, and he. Okay, I feel like this is a valid question. Like, even though I know he was in an episode of the show, are we really gonna count him though, boys? Because technically, he's a Green Arrow villain.
Shit. Well,
Like that's the
let's
thing.
just
I'm like,
let,
do we
let's
really count him?
let's stand it on the merits of his episode himself, because I think this is the least campy this character has ever been. Like, this is just sort of a tightly wound guy who's lived his whole life just basically every nanosecond, and the day he tries to loosen up is the day he loses his whole damn business. And again, what's scary is his incredible sense of timing. Like, he has everything down to just every last tick of his pocket watch.
He's constantly crossing his T's and dotting his I's.
And it's scary how efficient he is, and not just the timing of like other things, but just the timing of even Batman's movements.
Yeah, not
Like,
many
that is
people
true.
Even
can
the
do
Riddler,
something
even the Riddler isn't this like detail oriented.
calculative.
This guy wasn't just obsessed. I'm pretty sure this guy was a watchmaker.
It would make sense.
I'm pretty sure he was a watchmaker. And again, like they designed him in a way that didn't seem overly campy, and it just is just that sort of presence where he doesn't use more energy than he really needs to at any point, which is really, honestly, when you think about it, is really scary.
It is.
Like any son of a bitch that has to have the Batman himself walking around in broad daylight with it and not even have time to get the Batmobile, that tells you something of how dangerous this son of a bitch is. So I'd say A tier just on his execution. Yeah, he's technically a Green Arrow villain, but damn it, now I gotta bring in Lex and like now I actually do have to bring in Lex. I just
Fine with that.
We might as well. But like, yeah, like I gotta admit, when you explain it like that, Tom, I can't argue with it. This dude was pretty stellar, and again, despite being not somebody with superpowers.
Yeah.
Oh no, another one of my least favorites is next.
Really?
Jervis Tetch the Mad Hatter. Now let me sell you on this one. Yeah, his number one, his debut episode, you do kind of feel for the guy. He's sort of an outsider. Even though what he did was creepy as shit, but
Yes.
I think we're the last.
And of course, late Roddy McDowell, I think, really does sell it.
Oh, he sold the performance. Not to mention, he was also in another very, very good episode of the animated series. I think it was called Premonition of a Dream. It's when Batman ended up in a dream. He thinks this entire time he wasn't Batman. His parents were alive. Like he had everything he could wish for. Then he just figures out it's all bullshit. Like
yes, that is one of.
And I'll be honest, he looked like he was going to snap Hatter's neck when he figured out he was messing with his mind. Like it is rare to even the Joker doesn't always get him that pissed off.
Nope.
Oh.
So Hatter, you poked the fucking bear, and you should be thank God, Buddha, Allah, Zeus, Odin, or fucking Tom Brady that you are still breathing.
You beat me to the joke. Also, can I just say this?
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one that feels that, Tom, now that you mention it, am I the only one that feels like that episode may have partially been an inspiration for that episode of Justice League Unlimited where Superman gets possessed by the Black Mercy?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, possible.
All right, so while I will say I don't like Hatter, I want to make this clear. At least as far as most depictions of him go, especially the Arkham games version of him, because in Origins they really made him creepy. I don't like this character. I think he's kind of lame to a certain point, but at the same time, I got to admit the animated series version of him, like you said, like this guy poked the bear in a way that not even the Joker could, and I definitely agree with you, Justin. The fact that he's played by the late Rodney McDowell definitely has a little sway with me. So.
Well,
I'm thinking at least
McDowell is such a versatile actor. He can play both good guys and bad guys and sell it.
I'm thinking maybe at least a C, boys. What do you think?
I'm content with that.
Yeah.
All right, Jervis. So at least in Batman the Animated Series, you didn't completely suck. Okay, so this next guy is Wormwood. Oh, I remember this guy now. I think I remember this guy. This is the guy from the episode where he's trying to get Batman's cape and cowl, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, I remember that one. That's such a fun little that episode's such a mind fuck. And I kind of like it for that. I kind of want to put him on C tier because he was such on a high horse thinking he outsmarted the Dark Knight, only realizing that Bruce was just sort of playing chess with himself. It was like that Pixar short with just the old dude playing chess with himself. That was Bruce with this poor son of a bitch.
No, this was Bruce playing 4D chess
with himself.
So what are you going to do with
again? I just want.
I'm going to wear it.
You could tell that man just dropped the fucking lead brick in his pants.
To take a quote from Little Shop of Horrors, son, it looks like you've just been had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, because it fooled the audience. It fooled me first time watching. I'm like, damn, this is the first time we seen Bruce just get outwitted. Then we realized he was like the elaboration on that. I was like, you sly son of a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're putting him in C.
Yeah.
Yes. I think honestly, he deserves it. Next up, Zuko.
Tony Zuko. Now, this son of a bitch, what he did to Dick was just unforgivable. And
God.
And it was like his arc was such a like damn. It was another example of God bless these writers for just for just like walking that damn tightrope with the FCC, with the freaking FCC. Like they were just
that is
dude,
true.
they were dancing a freaking can on that tightrope, just teasing the FCC, which frankly I applaud them for.
Right?
Especially with this one, with what Zuko did to the Flying Graysons, and we see that
basically
just
straight up murdered these people.
Yeah, and this was sort of a big test for Robin, and by extension Batman, because it just asks the question, what would Bruce do if he ever saw, or came face to face with Joe Chill, and he wanted to make sure Robin would make the right choice.
Yeah. Well, he also wanted to make sure that Robin kind of got the clarity that he didn't.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure Zuko was put behind bars. So I want to say B, just because of what this guy did with Bruce and Robin's relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. He's worthy of a B just simply because of the fact that his importance for Dick as a character and just overall, like you said, Tom, the dynamic between Bruce and Dick. Like, this guy, like, and not just in the show, but every iteration of Dick Grayson's Robin, like, this guy is vitally important to Dick's story. And, it's kind of like this guy, even though he was never name dropped, I love that when they mentioned about this in Young Justice, I know we're not factoring that in here, but it's like, again, it explains why Bruce took Dick in and why he wanted to make sure that, Robin got the justice that he needed, the whole thing of why, so he could turn out like you.
I do love that scene in Young Justice.
Just
so he
Bruce didn't want Dick to turn into him, which says something.
The guy who voices Batman in that show, while he is no Kevin Conroy, he's also
voiced him. That was the same guy that voiced him in Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, it was. Oop. Sorry for all the noise. Next up is going to be
Ninja!
Yeah, I remember this guy. He was... Now, this is interesting because this isn't really anything directly to do with Batman, but just Bruce's journey throughout the world training to become Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really compelling. That and the fact that throughout it, Bruce really couldn't use any of his martial arts training because he was with somebody who could figure out that, someone who could fight like this, she notices his fighting style very similar to Batman's. Bruce has the resources, he has the build, and he sure as shit has the motivation. So she could just go, holy shit, that's Batman. So it really, it really just kind of, it's a rare moment where Bruce really has an anchor tied around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ninja was such a great villain.
So I'd say
B.
Go ahead.
Like, even though, he was also sort of a one-off character, I think he's at least worthy of B simply because he did technically make a few appearances. Like, I believe he had 2 episodes in the show.
All right.
And just despite being a one-off villain, he's as far as one-off villains from this show goes, he's one of the ones that you will see fans talk about just because again, like this is somebody who has nothing to do with Batman, but like you said, it's all about Bruce Wayne and the fact that blames Bruce for getting kicked out of the Ninja Clan he was part of because he was trying to steal from it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, I feel like in a way this kind of was sort of. I'm not saying there's any proof of this, boys, but I feel like this might have been sort of a nod to Larry Hama, the guy who created GI Joe,
Hmm.
because the Ninja's
Really?
debut episode is very similar to how Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes of GI Joe's relationship is. That Storm Shadow in most versions does not trust Snake Eyes because he's a gaijin, he's an outsider learning
Right.
learning the ways of the Ninja Clan, and that's how Ninja treated Bruce even before he was exiled from the clan for attempting to steal from it. He viewed Bruce as an outsider, a gaijin. you know that whole "you don't belong here, nerd."
Yeah, I
Right.
get you.
It's been tight.
Plus,
Justin,
it's
I
always
hope.
nice when we get a episode that goes into Bruce, like how Bruce became Batman.
Always nice to just see the steps Bruce took. I will agree, and Justin, I hope we're not just making you the third wheel here as we talk.
Oh, it's okay. I'm used to this kind of stuff. Can I get the center stage in the next one because it's one of my favorite characters.
Of course.
Um, yeah, go right ahead. After you just made me feel like a fucking asshole.
I didn't mean to.
Go right ahead.
All right, Joker, instant A or S, instant S. I don't think there's any argument here. I mean, he literally is kind of Batman's polar opposite. Like he's literally
Hell
the
yeah.
one that drives Batman to like one up him, and of course, Mark Hamill just does a phenomenal job voicing him.
Without Batman, crime has
Crime
no
has no
punchline. You
punchline.
really had to fucking interrupt me.
Sorry, such an
What the?
iconic quote.
I was already quoting it, you dick.
Call the force a habit.
I'll call you
But
something,
yeah, I
all
mean,
right.
come on.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I agree. Joker's just there was no way we were going to put Joker anywhere other than S. Come on, where else is this guy going to go?
I mean, just
Were you?
look at that. That's a face only a mother could murder.
I mean, and not only is Mark Hamill so iconic for this version of the Joker, he's come. As a result, Hamill has, like Kevin Conroy, came back to voice the character several times in non-DCAU canon.
Yeah, if that doesn't, if that's not proof of his longevity, I don't know what is.
Okay, I'm trying to. I'm trying to remember this motherfucker with the bowl cut that just. I'm just wondering where the fuck are Curly and Larry.
That's Milo, one of Baggett's people. Honestly, I just say F just because he's just a henchman. He's just a stupid. He's just another henchman character. He's
He's
pointless
just
to
a
me.
punching bag.
Eh,
Yeah, he's Hugo Strange.
Justin, you want the floor on Hugo?
that's all you, man.
Now, here's the thing about Hugo on this one. Like, he's usually reserved as just like top ass tier. Like, just think about his debut in Arkham City, where he lacks in a lot of just the more physical threats a lot of Bats' villains has. He makes up for it with the psychological warfare he is able to pull with his abilities as a psychiatrist, like deducing Batman's identity, knowing how each and every villain, just knowing all their ticks, especially again in Arkham City. That is typically where his greatest strengths lie. Unfortunately, there might be a reason they had to concave a little bit of his skull because he's missing some of that suave nature with even the villains because, you know, I get it. You already had a bunch of high tier threats, and I think Ra's al Ghul was already just sort of their silver bullet with that kind of story arc. And I'm not saying that this episode that this Hugo Strange was in wasn't at all entertaining, but this poor guy definitely ended up getting nerfed because we had already just so many like high stress threats throughout the series.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I still think he does. I think he's still worthy of an A.
I agree because again, like you can count on your two hands how many of the rogue gallery were able to properly deduce the Batman's identity, and you won't even need all five fingers.
Right.
Exactly. And plus, Hugo Strange, even outside of the show, he's also worthy of an A just because while we're not super factoring it in here, I still think, him being such an iconic character in his own way, I think definitely helps elevate him a little more.
Well, let's not also forget he was technically Batman's first arch enemy
True.
in the comics.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I did sort of enjoy. I still enjoyed his episode and just the angle they put with his more like weaponization of his psychology degree.
Where he's basically like blackmailing people into doing stuff for him.
And I just still love how it all just ended up backfiring on him. It's like, yeah, that went south.
Satisfying.
And next up is what the hell was this guy's name again? I'm just gonna call him Skynet.
It's Hard AC is what its name is.
Hardak. Hardak. Which was basically not Skynet, who made not Terminators. I will say it did lead to a fascinating thread and story later on down the road, and admittedly it was a fun little nod to Terminator. I want to say at least B or A because once again Hardak is another character that was able to deduce the Batman's identity.
I would say B just because cause it is just a machine.
Yeah.
I recall, didn't Hardak also appear in The Batman, but as a robot?
No, that wasn't Hardak. That was a different AI. That was actually made by that show's version of Hugo Strange.
Yeah,
and
it's been a while since I've seen that show.
Yeah, I've been off on my rewatch a little bit, but that was an interesting.
I remember that.
Yeah, mixing all the different
Carnations.
No, I mean that robot was like a mixture of all the different psychological profiles of the Arkham prisoners, patients, whatever the hell you want to call them. I believe our next thing is the one of Hardak's robots, if I'm correct.
Randa Duane, I think is her name.
I'm
looking at it now. Yeah, it's Rhonda Duane. I guess that's how you say it.
I want to say this was one of Hardak's bots, but I could be dead ass wrong.
I would say I would say for now just put her in F, just because we don't know.
No. If we don't know, we shouldn't put her anywhere because that would just be unfair.
Yeah, that's true.
Luckily, we got.
Right. We're not sorry, folks. We're just not going to rank this one.
Yeah, it's like that. That's probably for the better, just so we don't give them a rank they don't deserve. Justin, you wanna take the rings on the Riddler?
Sure. What are you guys thinking, S or A? Because let's be fair, he is one of Batman's most iconic.
This is one of the more endearing versions of the Riddler. I like his design. I kind of
Oh, sorry.
They do handle him in a really nice way that just fits for Riddler.
Oh yeah, and it's funny to think that this Riddler predates the Jim Carrey Riddler from the live-action movies that were going on around the same time this show was.
Yep.
Yeah,
which literally bewildered everyone.
And Jim Carrey got God bless you, man. Just like I'm not throwing trash at Jim Carrey, but they're just some
No, no.
they're just some actors you don't cast for some roles, and I
And to
that's
be fair,
no
he was
dis.
only just. And to be fair, he was only cast that movie just because he was popular.
I'm just
True.
I'm just trying to be nice to Jim. All right,
I'm not saying so. We're gonna put Riddler in S.
I agree. He was
Yeah,
one of the more cognitive challenges for the dynamic duo,
he
which was a
usually
nice.
is
Also,
in pretty much any appearance he's in.
what's really fun about this version of the Riddler, guys, is behind the scenes stuff like talking about the when the show writers and stuff were trying to come up with their versions of the villains for the show when they were working on it.
Yeah,
One of the things they mentioned was that with Riddler, when people thought of Riddler, they instantly thought of the late Frank Gorshin, who of course played him on the Adam West Batman show. The only difference
right.
was, however, Frank Gorshin's Riddler was kind of more closer to what the Joker was supposed to be, whereas Cesar Romero, who played the Joker, Cesar Romero's version of the Joker in the Adam West show was kind of more like what the Riddler was, kind of a jokey sort of villain. So when they were
Right.
so when they brought Joker more back in line to what he was supposed to be, they didn't want Riddler, they said, to feel like a Joker clone. So that's why they came up with the idea, kind of making him more of I guess you could say, sort of more of a sophisticated villain.
Something of a smartass
I
with
don't.
a reason to be
I mean,
smartassish.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because the
Which I
dude is
think was
super smart.
and may also suffer a bit of an inferiority complex.
Yep.
I mean, we already got his psychological evaluation in Arkham Knight. I can probably find the clip somewhere, but again, I don't feel like walking that same tightrope, so we're just gonna move on up.
Cameron Kaiser. I don't know a single thing about this dude.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
remember
I'm
this
I'm
one.
trying to think back to all my rewatching of the animated series. I don't have a damn clue what this son of a bitch did. And
So we're just not going to count him.
not gonna count him on the count of if I can't remember the character properly, I'm not gonna put him on anywhere. I'm not gonna put him low just because I don't know him. That would not be fair if he ends up being very compelling, if that makes any sense.
Right.
No, I completely agree. That's completely fair. This next guy, I do remember, Garth, the Gorilla Man, who worked for, I think the dude's name is Dr. Preterius or something like that.
This looks like if Winston from Overwatch got a very bad crack addiction.
There's a mental image I did not need.
Yeah.
These
Yeah,
podcasts are just a front for me to do a stand-up rehearsal. I swear to God.
Hey man, you know what
But
they say? Follow your dreams.
I liked Garth, but I would put him in the same level as I would put him in D just because he's not super bad, but he's not super compelling either. He's just
Sorry, Garth. We can't. There's no
a
G
henchman.
tier, so no G for the monkey.
Next up,
He
we
looks
have
like,
his
actually no. I
boss,
got a better one.
Doctor.
He looks like Donkey Kong's sketch ass back alley cousin.
Cracky
I
Kong.
heard you got. I heard you got. I heard you got that blue stuff.
Give me $1. Okay, I'll stop.
Next up, we got his boss, Dr. Emil Dorian. Again, I remember this episode very well. This is the
AKA,
episode
AKA more ginger and less fat Dr. Moreau.
basically, yes. I would say Dorian is at least a C tier because he's a pretty cool villain.
I'm just gonna say it. This guy's a fucking furry.
Oh, totally.
Okay, a little TMI, but yeah, you're right.
What the dude?
Of
That's
course,
not
we have.
that's not even the
Of course,
tip
we
of the
have.
goddamn iceberg when it comes to what's going on today. But I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, we don't need to open that can of worms.
Yeah, let's not say we did. And next up, we got Tigress. Again,
Wait
easily
a
the
minute.
best
That's not.
character. To
Wait a minute. This isn't. There's something wrong here. Did I open up the Kung Fu Panda character tier list? What the fuck is Angelina Jolie doing in here?
No, that's Tiger Claw from. The 2012 Ninja Turtles.
He doesn't even have fucking. Where'd the name come from? He doesn't even have fucking stripes. Some biologist you are. Some biologist you are, for you, Frankenstein.
But honestly, questionable naming aside, Tigress was easily, from that episode, of the three villains, easily one of the best. Although I will say, I'm kind of conflicted if we should count him as a villain or not.
Damn, you're right. He's kind of more anti-hero at the end.
Yeah, but
it's like he does have a pretty good, because he does have a good turnaround by the end of the episode.
Damn,
but
this
at
is
the same
tough.
time, he is on the list.
You know what? I say if we rank him, I would say he's at least A, because he's memorable. For me, at least for me, he's memorable. Like, he's got a great character arc, and it's just a shame that he never came back and they never did more with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I often wonder if maybe they did intend to do more with him, but just couldn't find the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I can easily see that. Also, I was planning on not having this edited, but I just feel like I want to like try to get some room shots in with some of those jokes I was making.
Please do.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, just okay. My comedic ego stroking aside.
Romulus, aka American Werewolf in Gotham.
Really? I was. Damn it! I'm actually at a loss. I don't know what other jokes I can make.
I don't know. Werewolf of Gotham.
I don't even remember this. I don't even remember this guy. Do you guys?
I just remember him as a werewolf.
There were so many goddamn episodes in the first and second season. It's so hard to keep track.
The art style kind of looks like it's from like the New Adventures era when they started transitioning to that Bruce Timm style more.
It's a little hard to tell, honestly. The image is really small. I say this is another one we kind of leave alone if none of us can really remember properly. Any of you folks can like help us fill in the blanks on some of these we didn't fill out. Please do.
We'd really appreciate that.
Next is
She-Bat, Kirk Langstrom's wife.
And the internet's and the 90s already giving the internet fucking ammunition. If you know, you know.
To be fair, you don't really see anything, so.
I know. I'm just like I said. This is just me doing my bullshit stand-up routine. So I'm actually gonna let you guys take the reins on that one while I get another drink of water.
Okay, well, I just want to say, like, I also remember this episode very fondly. And can we just say that technically, even though this was this was a show from the 90s, Justin, that I think we can agree, it's like I loved the twist. I love the whole twist with the episode. Like, we think Kirk Langstrom's turning back into Man-Bat, and then it's revealed, nope, it's his wife.
Yeah.
And it's just like that was one of the best plot twists ever.
Eat your heart out, M. Night Shyamalan.
But not only that, but also what makes the episode so great is the fact it's like, well, we had one episode where her hubby turns into a monster, so now we have the wife turning into a monster. So technically, this was equality before people really started jumping on demanding on that train.
You hear that, Hollywood? That is you had it right the first time. What the fuck happened?
Honestly, fellas, I think She-Bat, even though again she was a one-time episode character only, I think it's only fair that I think it's only fair we put her on the same tier as her hubby.
Fair enough. And again, fair. I just say thank Christ her psycho dad was still smart enough to use fruit bats. So to the Langstrom and the Batman, the fuck's your excuse?
Well, to be fair, that episode you also feel bad for her dad too, because he realizes what he's done, and that's what ultimately convinces him to stop doing his research.
Yeah, and I think I need to calm down on the F-bombs. Like I'm gonna make a single cent out of this damn thing.
Jazz Man. I don't know a single thing about this dude.
I know this son of a bitch. This is the bastard that shot Gordon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, remember it was an episode where Bruce was just really in a depression, given that just he feels like what he's doing as Batman isn't doing a damn thing, and when this son of a bitch shot Gordon, that was almost the straw that completely broke the Bat's wings.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm faintly remembering this one now. Oh shit, you're right. What are we thinking for him then?
Like his episode,
Well,
like the episode with the
considering,
Jazz Man alone was just a damn
I mean, considering he's one of the people that almost emotionally broke Batman,
A tier at the
but he was already, yeah,
max.
when Batman was
I
already
would,
questioning himself.
you know what? I can't argue with that. I would say the lowest I would go is a B, but the highest I'm willing to go is A.
Hey, Justin.
Talia.
Actually, Justin, do you want to take the reins on this one, or do you want to wait for another one?
I'll wait for another one.
Hunter, you want to get on the saddle for this one? You describe her way better than I could, man.
Talia al Ghul. Honestly, if there was okay, like you got guys, I've talked with both of you about this. It's like people often ask, like, you know, who do you prefer Batman being paired up with romantically? And I think all of us could agree we're in the camp that depending on the universe, he's either best off with Selina or with Diana, aka Wonder Woman.
I agree. It's like with these
Yeah.
two, you get to see them like they want to make it work, but just it would just fall apart.
It's like it's like Talia, it's very clear that she does care about Bruce, but she's caught in this in almost every depiction of her that's been. This is something about her that I love has remained with the character is she's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place because she ultimately knows she's going to have to choose between staying loyal to her father or, going with Bruce.
And that's always just been sort of a no man's land. She could, in all depictions, has never really figured out how to navigate, and you can't blame her.
The
Like,
closest I the closest that we got with her, I think, where she almost had it figured out definitively, in my opinion, was Arkham City.
I agree.
Yeah, just a
It's just
shame that
it's just too bad.
Joker
Or
had to
shoots
ruin
her.
everything. Yeah,
It's the Joker. Are you really surprised by this?
yeah, that is
Nope.
true. And he still had the
Talia, it's like,
audacity to pretty much laugh at Batman after doing that. Not like you have
yep.
a girl to save. Oh, too soon.
Well, to be fair, give him credit. Bastard knew how to go to hell with a smile.
Yeah.
But that's enough
as much as I
that's
want-
enough about that pasty bastard. Let's keep on Talia.
Right.
As much as I want to give her S tier, guys, I realistically can't, especially when compared to her dad, who is going to be coming up soon. So I'm
Right.
thinking, but with Talia, I think she's definitely a solid A. She's always a fun, well-rounded character that you can always get behind. I will admit though, I've never been the biggest fan of when they decide to make her crazy. I do not like that. Period. I'm sorry. So no offense to anyone who's a fan of like the DC 52 animated films because I do like those movies a bit too, but I did not like Crazy Talia. Not a fan of Crazy Talia. Never been a fan of it. I'm sorry, but get dunked on.
Okay, that last part, you basically just, spat in their faces and kicked them in the dick. So, nice work on that one. I'm going to enjoy that one in my comment section. You jackass.
Hey, I'm just being honest, brother. I'd rather be honest than live a lie.
Yeah, but who's the one that's going to have to
Next
read all those argumentative comments?
Oh, there is such thing as ignoring them.
This is true. All right.
Oh,
next up,
who are we
got
kidding? At
Count
this rate with YouTube, it's amazing we still have comments.
Next up, we have Count Vertigo. Again, Interestingly, another Green Arrow villain.
villain.
Most I remember out of this guy was from the Suicide Squad Hell to Pay movie when he just went when his head was kaputs. I'm gonna
So
let
are
you.
we
So
ranking?
y'all can handle
So
this
do we
one. I know
cover-
don't know dick about this guy.
Uh, what do you think, Justin? Should we even count him? I mean, he's on the list.
No. Yeah, I mean, we included Clock King. You know, like you said, he's
I don't.
technically a Green Arrow villain.
Except I'll be honest, I don't remember the episode that Vertigo was in, so I don't really know if we can rank him.
Well, Vertigo. Wow, it's amazing. Vertigo's powers are still working because our heads are spinning just figuring out what to do with this guy. Bravo, sir.
I would say
I'd almost give you the S tier just for that, my friend. Bravo.
right? Okay, how about this? We split the middleman and we put him in the C tier just because I feel like C is just kind of like they're average, but they're still entertaining.
I really don't want to break my rule right now, but I really can't figure out I really can't figure out another way to handle this.
Yeah.
We might change our minds later.
I'm giving you this one.
Alright, Sid the Squid.
Justin, come on. You can't tell me you ain't got nothing to say about this guy.
Well, I definitely feel sorry for him. I mean, that is kind of the point of the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the feeling that this poor son of a gun just should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
Yeah, I mean, like like I said, yeah, he's kind of annoying, but again, it's like that's kind of the point. He's kind of meant to be someone who, doesn't really know what he wants in life, is just constantly being led astray by everyone around him. Plus, the message of his episode, I think, is a really good one. Just so I'm thinking either B or C. What do you guys think?
I think C's a pretty good place to put him.
I'll grant the C tier.
All right.
All right, Sid, so you don't totally suck.
You're just smack in the middle of all this mania, and you still got a bunch of other crazy bastards right by you. Look at him, even in this picture, he's like looking around. It's like, what the hell am I? Look at him. Even in this picture, he's like, what the hell am I doing there with all these lunatics? I just want to go home.
And like I said, he's kind of meant to be pathetic, but it's like at the same time, you still feel sorry for him.
I agree.
Oh my god! I just thought of a horribly just hilarious but so messed up meme template. I'll tell you guys about it later. Oh my god.
All right, then.
Yeah, probably best we not say it on recording. All right, next up we got Montague Kane. I don't know a single thing about this dude.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on both of these guys, on two of these guys, just leading up to the automatic S tier coming up.
Bill Mason. I also don't know anything about him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I really should have just gone through the rest of these episodes just to make sure I could actually place some of these guys, and
I prefer us going in. Please, nobody take this the wrong way. Please get your mind out of the gutters when I say this for recording, but I kind of like us going in raw just because I feel like we have more emotion. Like, I like that we're being honest, so it's just like, yeah, we're not ranking this guy because we don't even remember him, so he's not even worth ranking.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather us be brutally honest, Tom. Like,
yeah, plus, I get you there, but
no,
but luckily we're getting into another
anyway,
one that's just so much easier to rank at this rate, and I mean, Justin, you can
yeah.
take it away on this one.
Oh yes, the leader of the League of Assassins. Batman. He's basically Batman's equivalent to Darkseid in the fact that he is basically what Batman would be if he didn't have his moral codes.
Yes,
Ra's
Raz
al
or
Ghul.
Rosh or Raish or
Ish, however you want to pronounce it.
Liam
Head of the
Neeson.
demon.
Like I said, he's basically is to Batman what Darkseid is to Superman.
I agree, and that's a really good way to put it. And already, his image is already like silently judging us for not just putting him on the S tier already, or maybe silently judging us for putting his daughter on the A tier, or maybe she's just trying to find ways to kill us.
No, that's a look that says yes, I'm an S tier villain.
That is just Christopher Lee, who is this little pleb who's trying to tell me how to act look right now.
You mean like what he did with Peter Jackson?
To be fair, I think he was a little more classy with Peter Jackson, because Christopher Lee is actually a very nice man.
No, or at least yeah, he was.
God rest him. Now
on,
going back to the Terminators, we got the Batinator.
Come with me if you want to live.
The Batman.
I kind honestly, now hang on, let me sell you on this one. What Karnak was able to set up with this is that this robot was damn near a perfect replica of Bruce and Batman with the data he collected. Like, this one actually believed he was the real Bruce Wayne. Like he said, he could remember everything Bruce could. His birthday, his family, what happened, what he's done to become what he is. But like the man who created Karnak said, he didn't have all of Bruce's, like, humanity in him. Or at least that's what it felt like. But nearing the end of the episode, when this robot thought he had killed Bruce and broke down, that's when all of Batman took over the machine, and hence why the episode was called A Silicon Soul.
You know what? I can't argue that.
Yeah. Almost a very Frankensteinish story.
Ghost in the
oh my
Ghost
god,
in the
yes.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, very ghost.
Also,
like,
just
I
as
also agreed with what you were going, like the Ghost in the Shell kind of thing.
Also, fun fact: the industry that actually built Karnak, I looked at it, and I literally just like kept rubbing my eyes. I'm just like, it literally says Cybertron Industries, and I'm just like, nani?
Nani the fuck?
So yeah, I guess Hasbro was way more lax back in the 90s.
Every
Okay, you know
company
what?
was much more lax back in the 90s.
This was before the internet exploded.
Now they're basically exploiting every loophole they can get their greasy hands on. I'm talking about Hasbro. I'm talking about every entertainment company.
Yep. Hey, you know what, boys? I think if Batman's robotic double has earned any place, it's definitely a solid A tier.
Like he's yeah.
I mean,
I should be a damn used car salesman.
You could sell dog poop to a cat, I swear. All right, I do remember this next guy, Maxie Zeus, and I'm just gonna say it: F tier, worst. Get him out of here.
Oh, I already see a Villlain where I'm just going to have fun, just lambasting later.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the writers want me to do, but you'll figure it out. I admit, I think he was far more interesting in The Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, we get to a really fun one. We get to a super fun one. Scarface and the Ventriloquist. Now, do any of you guys have anything to say before I just unleash on why I love this character and his arc?
I'm
I'm pretty sure you'd pretty much say exactly what we're thinking.
Well, why don't you guys just try to give your thoughts, and I'll just lay out my story.
Hunter, you want to
honestly,
go?
honestly, I just love how entertaining these two are. Like, whether it's in this show or even in the Batman, Scarface and the ventriloquist are just so fun just because one, I love the whole thing. It's like it's a split personality, and Scarface is basically the ventriloquist's more assertive, dominant half.
Yeah, I mean, think about
Also,
it.
it's
Poor
like
Arnold
also
there is more of the puppet.
exactly like Scarface is literally just the outlet for all of his rage and his anger at the world.
Yeah.
But also, what makes the puppet such a fun character is that because it's a puppet, they could get away with shooting it, burning it, blasting it to smithereens, and all this other stuff you
Its
could
head
not
chopped
do
off.
with a human
Do you
character.
want to know what I found the most entertaining with his debut episode? Is that his henchman Muggsy. It wasn't just a little bit of a small bird. Oops, sorry, my bad. Like you would have in like a game with friendly fire. No, he straight up fucking mag dumped his boss with a 50 round drum mag of 45 ACP. Like homeboy didn't even let go of the trigger.
that was just straight, that was just straight up. I'm not taking this abuse from a piece of wood anymore.
Like he
You can
emptied the
tell.
whole ass mag before he realized
Just
he was shooting his boss.
you
Oh,
just tell the writers were having.
that guy has gotten the ban on so many Halo servers.
You just tell the writers were probably so relieved that they could have a character that they could pretty much do whatever they wanted with.
Yep.
Oh.
Tom, you want to give your 2 cents?
Alright, I just already gave that. I love that this guy was basically a punching bag for all the, you could clearly tell, gruesome crap the writers wanted to do. I loved I love how they handled the ventriloquism. I love that the voice actor was able to do two completely different voices. I just loved a lot of the slapstick that it was provided, even though this is a clearly bad thing Arnold is going through. I love that they play it off
Oh
as it's
yeah.
a legitimate, like he has a legitimate psychological issue. And I love the episode in the new Batman Adventures where Arnold is trying to get better. He want like this is the first time we've seen a villain actually want to be a new man, and it's his henchman that just causes his twig to snap again.
I
Yep.
mean, he's destroyed Scarface
I say
once.
S
Even
tier
then, he
just
can't.
because of just how honestly brutally real it is. They went with his journey to psychological recovery, and just you know how how badly it can just snap back for people.
I was honestly gonna say he's at least A, but if you guys think he's worthy of S, I'm not gonna fight you on it.
I say S just because of
I
his
think he's
arc.
S. I agree.
All right, next up we got Rhino, which I think this guy was from the Mask of the Phantasm movie, which it looks like several of the next characters are.
Actually, no. Rhino's one of Scarface's henchmen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, him and
That be
Muggsy.
uh uh I guess with him and Muggsy both, I guess we could just go ahead and put them in D.
Actually, I'd
I
argue
love,
C or B because again, like I mentioned, like they actually they manipulated poor Arnold enough to get him to snap back and bring out Scarface again because they needed that alternate personality of him to pull off more jobs. And it almost bit them in the ass because, Scarface said, when the muscle starts thinking it's the brain, then it's time to amputate.
yup.
Well, with that, I'd say they're worthy of B.
Think about it. These are henchmen that have actually that just
These are
have
henchmen who actually have more character than most henchmen.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's at least worthy of something.
You know what? I agree. Okay, next up. All right, Tom, I'm not asking for many spots on certain characters, but can I please have this next one?
Go. Let me. Hey, Justin, you don't mind if Hunter takes this one?
Oh, totally. Go for it, bro.
Okay, so next up we have the Phantasm, one of the original villains made for the animated movies that were tied in. Specifically, the first one and the only one that got released in theaters, unless I'm
Rubs.
mistaken.
Don't forget, it was also around the
Bat-
same time that Batman Forever got released.
yep. So we have Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And the Phantasm in this case, I'm just going to say, I think the Phantasm is easily. I'm debating like if we should have her be S, or at the very least I think she should be A, because I loved the story of Mask of the Phantasm. This movie did not deserve to bomb horribly like it did.
Oh, it
Because
did not. That is an
this movie,
injustice.
exactly, and it is such an injustice that because it bombed horribly, it's why no animated DC movies have ever been released into theaters until only recently with like League of Super Pets. And even then, I don't even know if
Right.
we can really count that one, but that's another tangent. Just
Right.
Andrea Beaumont is just such a great character because, like, when you see the backstory behind her, and how she's tied to Bruce, it's like you wanted these two to be happy, and life was just determined to just fuck them in the ass.
Phrasing.
Dude.
Sorry, but like, life was just determined to just basically say, you don't get the happy fairy tale ending.
And who did it? This pasty white prick before he became a pasty white prick.
Can I just say, I do love the moment when Bruce is having second thoughts of becoming Batman. He's like at his parents' grave and he says, I just never counted on being happy.
Oh, God. That just.
That
This
scene,
this
that
show
scene
knew
punches you
how
in
to
the
just
gut with the.
grab your throat and start twisting with how well it's some of those moments just choke you up.
Oh, right.
Also, can I just say I am so thankful that the episode of Justice League Unlimited titled Batman Beyond actually brought her back as a cameo. Like that was such a great way to tie everything. Like it was just so fitting to bring her back. And I also love that like she's hired by Amanda Waller to kill Terry McGinnis's parents to put Terry on the path to becoming the new Batman, but Andrea refuses to do it because one, as she points out to Waller, it's like yes, Bruce can become obsessed in achieving his goals, but he would never resort to murder. But also, you could tell she wouldn't do it because she knows that's Bruce's son, and it's like she could never do that to Bruce, showing that
Right.
even all these years later, Andrea still cared for Bruce enough that she would never willingly hurt him.
That's just especially with how brutal she took out the Valestra mob.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like
I mean, she
I'm just
inadvertently
saying.
put Batman on the crosshairs of Bullock in the GCPD, minus
Gordon, of course.
Gordon. Yeah, I just credit for him. He's just like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Although,
I
it is
just
kind of a shame that.
I just picture like when in the scene, like if this show could be, if the DC animated universe could be more PG-13. Is it weird, boys, that I could see like if we could actually hear the argument between Andrea and Waller? She just tells Waller, "Go to hell."
Oh, yeah, definitely.
you know that's not the only time she's been told to go to hell in her line of work.
Just
Right.
Andrea just saying that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understood where Waller was coming from, but I think like that was one of the times where Waller, it was a great character moment because she realized, yeah, Andrea was right. It's like, you know, do what would killing Terry's parents prove other than just it's a violent cycle that will never end for Bruce?
That's what I always
Except
liked
now you're
about the
doing it
DC.
with a kid.
That's what I always liked about the DC AU Waller is that, I mean, yeah, she clearly believes that what she's doing is what's best for the world, but she also questions herself.
Yeah, I like that more too. So, boys, what are we thinking? A or S for Andrea? Like
S S
S.
S. No,
You
God,
know
no
what?
damn question for me. Like the fact that I just heard that this movie apparently bombed, um, is just telling me that what the hell, people.
Well, Well, to be fair, part of the reason it bombed was because of the mixed reception to Batman first.
Forever.
So
Yeah.
that definitely didn't help. But it's like, but I agree. It's like the fact that this movie flopped. I'm like, this is bullshit, man. This movie is no, this is an S tier movie. What is wrong with you people? I mean, to be fair, critics liked it.
Oh yeah. And like I said, the people were just baffled that it was more adult than the supposed adult movie.
Moving forward, I think this is. I want to say this is Chucky Saul.
It is.
Yeah.
I can.
The first guy to get the axe.
I'm gonna say D tier just because this guy's just a poor mook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Sorry,
you know,
sorry, Saul. You get to sit next. You get to sit next to cracked out Donkey Kong.
man,
Next up, we got Art.
Effie, get that books.
Oh, it's this it's this
Son of a
POS. I'm glad the Joker gassed him. Hunter?
So what are we thinking?
We're thinking F.
What are we thinking?
Thinking F because I mean, to be fair, he's kind of meant to be like super unlikable.
No. I mean, you know what? He reminds me too much of modern politicians. Get the hell out of here. You sit next to you sitting next to the creep ass toy guy, the Depressionary era third stooge, and I don't even know what to call this guy.
With a god complex.
Yep. Sal Valestra.
AKA,
I
do believe this is the first. He's like the first person we've ever seen Joker kill in this universe.
Yeah, this is actually the first time we've actually seen Joker give someone the kibosh.
Because he blows that dude up, and there's no coming back from that.
It's like, yeah, let's censorship be damned, okay?
You could tell they enjoy doing that. So you can tell they enjoy just putting these guys in the forever box so much in this movie. They're like, yes, finally. It's like letting a German Shepherd off the leash to go and bite the drug dealer.
Right.
So, I think Sal's at least worthy of a C.
I agree.
He is, because he is fairly important in the story. Because again, he's the head of the Valestra mob. So,
I say Chucky.
I do love that scene where he's meeting with Joker. That scene was awesome.
Oh, that was exceptionally Joker.
Oh yeah.
I'd be careful with all those weirdos running around.
It has that right blend of just cartoonish, like,
it's funny but
to
creepy
it
at the same time.
But it just has that subtle unhinged nature that just makes your skin crawl. Pinnacle Joker scene, in my opinion.
I agree.
You know, like the second Joker just goes, you know, that's it. That's what I like to see. A smile. It's like, you know what's coming.
A nice big smile.
I know, it's like, you know what's coming.
It's that's why it's like, yeah, Sal, you're fucked. You are so fucked.
And like I said,
dude,
this is technically the first. Oh, sorry, go on.
The dude technically paid for his own execution.
Yeah. Oh, Sal. Joker ain't on your payroll no more, man.
Except we got Buzz Bronski.
I love the cruel irony of this poor guy's death. I mean, that was just like Andrea, you didn't have to do the man like that. That was just disrespectful. You pissed on the man's grave.
Yep. I think Buzz is at least worthy of a D.
Yeah.
At least you get to hang out with good old Chucky. You two were always
Niv-
losers.
Nivens. F, just because I think he's a loser.
I'm
More
just gonna
so than
take
the other guys.
first time. I'm gonna take your word on this.
Vinny the Shark. Uh,
If we don't know anything about this, I think we should just leave the guy alone.
I know he was in. I know he was also in the Under the Mask of the Phantasm movie. So I also. You know what? I'm gonna put him in D.
I'm just gonna have to take your word for it because at least somebody remembers this guy.
Yeah.
The Terrible Trio. Honestly,
Fox,
I don't.
Shark, and Vulture. Now, keep in mind this is sort of like how Bruce could have just used his persona to just and could have easily been twisted as this sort of eccentric, crackpot like these three are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't like them. They are so lame.
Well, okay. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can really sell it. Now keep in mind, like they all talk about their preferred sports, and all of them just involve harming animals. It's almost like a subtle reference to the most dangerous game, where a hunter gets really bored because he's hunted every last dangerous type of animal, but he wants to hunt the most dangerous one, that being humans. Keep in mind, all of these are just sort of the animals you see as just vicious, especially vultures picking on the dead and dying, foxes being just unlikable thieves and killers of livestock, and I don't even need to go over sharks because of what happened with Jaws. All these animals with a negative connotation, much like bats. So it's a harder. It's almost like looking through like a tripped, warped mirror of what Batman could have turned into.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
At least a D or C, in my
All right.
opinion.
So what do you think?
I'd
You
say
know
either
what?
D or C. D.
Okay with D. I'm okay with D.
That was a hard sell.
They're not. I guess they're not totally lame. All right.
That
Let's
was
see.
that was my
What's this
hardest
next
sell
one?
yet. I don't
Thoth.
know. Yeah, I don't
Ba-
know. Call me Jon Snow.
Basically,
I
it's
know
a
nothing about this.
I don't either.
Yeah.
So,
Leave her
Justin,
alone.
what about you?
I can't remember
Leave it
who this
alone.
is.
Oxy Bennett.
Box. Oh, I remember this guy. Yeah, Harley screws over his gambling rack every time she comes around. You guys remembering now?
Yep.
Oh well.
Faintly.
I say
Faintly remembering.
I say let's give him DF because let's face it, the only times we remember him is when Harley just causes hell for him.
Oh yeah.
Basically.
Now
I think
Justin,
there's no
Bane.
argument where this guy's going.
Justin, you want to take over for this? Let Justin try to go over this one while I go get some more water.
Well,
Means.
I mean, it's the man who basically Batman kind of figured he couldn't take on himself. I mean, yeah,
The
what
Bat.
he does isn't as brutal as in the comics, but let's be fair. What the writers had to work with, I think they did it well.
I agree.
I mean, I think the first time
mean,
you know
either-
he's a threat is when he beats up Killer Croc.
Yeah, because Croc's not. I mean, Croc, as much as big of a book as he was in this show, was still pretty damn strong in his own right.
Yeah, and not only was he still strong, he was pretty damn smart. He didn't deduce Batman's identity, but he was able to lure him into a trap, and he even had aspirations to take over Rupert Thorne's operations.
And he completely trashed the Batmobile with his bare hands.
I mean, Bane is just another one of those just iconic villains when it comes to
course.
Batman.
And
So-
again, to think this predates Batman and Robin, which also featured Bane.
We don't talk about that Bane.
We never talk about that Bane.
Right.
Exactly.
Just remember,
yeah.
this is the guy that literally had Batman pretty much call Superman for help.
That was a fun episode too.
All right,
just
now if you
Superman
guys
in
don't,
Batman's
all right, so
costume,
easy
that's
S tier for Bane. Now, if you guys don't have anything to say about this character and getting, I have such a thing to say, especially going into the new Batman Adventures. Oh, do I have a gush fest for this one? But I'll let you guys
Come on,
go
bro.
first.
Honestly, Tom,
Oh.
I think you're gonna say what we all have to think, so I say just take it away, man.
You sure,
Yeah.
Justin?
Stage man.
I hate to just leave you sidelined so much.
Now, I can handle the next one if that'd be fine.
The
Oh,
next
I
one.
wanted the next one. Well,
Well, I'll let you
Oh, yeah.
both have that one, but let me just have this one now. Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, a character that on paper, that despite his less than stellar appearances in both of his redesigns within the series, was such, once again, another great psychological threat to Batman and Robin. Bruce, because this is his first time dealing with his fear toxin and just how much it can mess with you, seeing your worst fears. Robin he turned Robin's own talent for acrobatics into his worst nightmare by messing with your fight or flight reflexes with his latest toxin. And I don't even think I need to give that much into how amazing they turned around his design in the new Batman Adventures. The fact that this is Jeffrey Combs now voicing him should say a lot.
I think we
What's
can
the
all
point of
agree
you-
the New Adventures version of Scarecrow is definitely the best design he's had in this series.
It reminds me of the Rat King from the 2012 TMNT. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled from this when they got Jeffrey Combs to voice him.
What's the point of you acquiring me test subjects if they're just going to escape? You should
So-
have monitored him more carefully.
S tier solely on the basis of just the pendulum swing and just how much of an oomph his toxin has had in the series.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, an entire episode was dedicated to Babs just cold cock just on that crap.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's probably the episode that scarred many children, even after the twist.
Where you're still just breathing, just like, oh, thank the Lord in heaven. All right, I'm gonna let you two handle this one, and if you got nothing else to add, I have my own spin on how I feel about this one.
Right? I definitely think
Baby
she's
doll.
a higher. I think she's a higher tier, either S or A. I don't know which, but I definitely think she's like out of again another
I would say
original
A.
villain that I think is.
I
think
say
she's
A
very
because
compelling.
yeah, her debut episode is just like every time I watch this episode, it just punches me in the gut with the feels, boys.
Just to think, this is probably like one of the few times Batman defeats a villain without having to punch them. I just love how it literally just ends with her breaking down, crying, and Batman actually comforting her.
We haven't even mentioned her name yet. If you're wondering, this is Baby Doll.
Yep.
And I agree. This was
Which-
such a gut punch because it makes you realize that this woman, this grown woman, is trapped forever as in a child's body. It stunted everything. Her life, her career, just basically when her show ended, she lost any and every last possible career path she could go.
Much.
and
So,
just like the sad part is none of it was her fault.
No.
It's like she's one of those villains where even though what she's doing is technically bad boys, is it weird that in some kind of way you almost kind of want her to succeed?
No, I
yeah, I
agree.
have to agree. It is that weird little
It's like you kind of just want her to have her own little happy ending that she
Happy
makes for
ending.
herself.
you just want her to have a good life.
It's just also just
Like I
love the
said,
fact
it's
that her.
always sorry.
No, you go ahead, Justin. I'm sorry.
Just saying, like I said, it's always nice to actually show Batman being compassionate towards a villain.
Yeah, because like you said, man, like when he comforts her at the end, it's just like, see, he's not all about punching the bad guys.
Exactly, and this series I think does a good job at. They do that a few times with Batman in this series. Remember the
It does a
episode
good
when
job of
Harley's trying to,
humanizing him.
yeah, like remember the episode when Harley's trying to turn her life around?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good one.
And to be fair
But
to the new
I will.
Batman adventures, I think at this point Bruce has become a lot more jaded, and you can't really blame him with what he's gone through, especially with one villain we'll get into that was one of his closest friends and his greatest hope for turning Gotham City around, but he's still a ways away on the list.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna get to him though. I will say this though about Baby Doll Boys. I prefer her design in Batman the Animated Series versus the New Adventures. The New Adventures redesign is just too damn creepy.
Yeah,
It's just it like
I did like
nope
that.
like
I did like that
I did
episode with her and Croc.
no I do like yeah the dynamic between her and Croc in that episode is fun. Don't get me wrong, that's a fun episode. I just don't like her redesign in that
Is it?
episode.
And it's a little dark realizing that that entire thing was her was basically her thinking she and Croc had a suicide pact.
And Croc's like I don't think so, sweetheart.
Like
Yeah,
he hates how he looks, but he ain't.
He ain't stupid.
yeah.
Next up, we got her hench girl, Miriam.
Let's be
Like
honest.
Miriam,
Like
she was.
she kicks ass.
I'm thinking at least maybe a B or C from Miriam.
I argue B because out of all the out of all the goons, like she seems to like get the best treatment.
True, and to be fair, like you can tell, like she and her boss are pretty close with each other. Like they genuinely care for each other.
Actually,
Yeah.
oh shit, I'm curious now. Like I'm trying to look back at what we've done, and I'm trying to see if her other two henchmen are here, like the ones based off of the two characters, and I think it was Gilligan's Island.
I don't think they. I don't know. Maybe they're later on here.
Hmm. If not, I mean, oh,
Meant King. I'm just gonna.
To be fair, he was kind of. To be fair, he was kind of always meant to be a joke.
oh, I have. Oh, the word that I have for this guy. Though I know if I just go off, I'm going to I'm gonna get this video age restricted.
It's probably the first
Tom,
one of the few times
Tom,
Batman
I'm
is
sorry.
literally just rolling his eyes the whole time. Again, like I said,
Just
he's
I'm
kind of
sorry.
meant to be a joke.
Yeah, but he's just not a very good joke. I'm sorry. But I had to be honest, boys. Just F worse. He's pointless to me.
There's a reason the Lego Batman movie thought this son of a bitch was made up.
Nope. He's like, okay, are you making those up? Nope, they're all real. For the Google. I love that movie.
Oh, we all know that little joke. Those little. Oh god, I could make such an inappropriate joke with just like the pathetic little spritz he gives with those things. Oh my god. Oh. I don't care what anyone says. Somebody was smoking the good shit when they came up with the idea for you, motherfucker. I'm talking the stuff.
Rat.
I'm talking. Wait, I'm not. Hang on, I'm not done yet.
Sorry.
I'm talking
Sorry.
the crap that sends you to the ninth frickin' dimension. like you taste sound and touch color. Probably more than you've ever touched grass, you jackass. Nice, nice hat too. Probably the thing looks like you took a multi pickle and put a damn magnum condom over it, which is about the only action you're ever gonna get, you jackass. Nice goggles too. You look and nice goggles. You look like a Splatoon original character somebody made on Tumblr before they started censoring it.
No, he looks like Duke Nukem's retarded half cousin.
You're being way too you're being way too nice. You are literally every failed draft for Splatoon characters Nintendo made. They threw it into the trash, and it just ended up somewhere in Warner Brothers, and someone was drunk enough to try to make something out of it, and the storyboard was high enough to accept it.
And we're just having too much fun with this, aren't we?
Let's go before we get canceled.
Yeah.
You look like a Mr. No, you look like some horrible attempt at some sort of triple X version of Mr. Incredible.
Please stop.
Also, before we move on, can I just say, at least he's brave enough to wear his underwear on the outside.
That's like the only thing I can compliment.
I'm honestly kind of impressed that he found a clean pair.
we agree. We're flunking this man, right?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Okay.
the only tier this man is worthy of is the one that are filling up those goggles right now, ya pansy.
Speaking of which, this is
sorry,
completely. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it is subjective, but at the same time, we are bringing some of our bias in here by this point. So we're going to be biased, and if people have a problem with it, they can come at us in the comments.
Oh, I have more.
Pack
His face
rat.
looks. Oh wait,
Again,
what? Oh, okay. I'll stop. No, let's just go on to Pack Rat.
Pack rat. F, just because again, he's pointless to me.
Well, if that's all we got, I got one more thing for Condiment King. His face and jawline looks like he literally got beaten halfway to death with a boomerang.
Mom. I faintly remember this one. It was a weird episode.
That's her name? I thought it was Waffle House Karen.
No, her name is Mighty Mom. The thing I remember most from this episode, and don't ask me why, boys, but it's the fact that she not only grabs Robin, but she spanks him. And I'm just like, I don't know why, but I'm thinking somewhere out there, it's like somewhere out there, a fanboy has a boner. I know I don't.
Yeah, well, we were on a good track now. Now that's gonna get age restricted. Thanks a lot.
I would say at least I would say we put her in D just because she's not as pathetic as like Condiment King.
Still kind of, okay, so so not as bad, but she still sits in the corner.
Yeah. Okay, this next guy, I'm trying to remember how his name is said. Arcade Duval, I think is his name.
Yes.
I don't remember this guy. Like,
looks like a shifty Robin Williams.
He kind of does. A shifty Robin Williams doing his best Robert Downey Jr. impression.
No, it looks like it literally looks like if Robin Williams was casted for a poorly thought out G-rated Jack the Ripper movie.
Fun fact, when Tim Burton was originally going to direct Batman Forever, he actually was considering casting Robin Williams as the Riddler.
Oh, that would have been so much fun.
I think he could have pulled it off.
I mean, hell, Williams did say he was interested in playing villains at that point.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I'm serious. I think Robin Williams could have pulled it off.
I think Jim Carrey
Yeah.
could have pulled it
So I
off
guess with
too
Duvall,
if they weren't just telling him to just do his usual shtick.
yeah. So
I think he
Duvall,
could
I
have
guess
played a very charming and a very charming and kind of witty, but more the dry wit kind of villain.
yeah. So I guess with Duvall, since none of us really have anything to say, I guess we're just not going to rank him.
Yeah, that at least let's try to stick to the house rules once. Now, lock up. Now, aside from some of the political jokes that could probably be made his with his comments on Gotham media, which frankly in my opinion have just aged like the finest of lines. But that doesn't change the fact that I don't think this guy is just an absolute kook. And I'll be completely honest, this man will be eaten up. This man, there's a reason we never saw this man again. You know why? The inmates ate him. And Croc Chase probably literally ate him.
So, D or F?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I mean, this guy was absolutely unhinged. When you are unhinged enough to make you feel bad for the villains, especially our lovable princess like Harley Quinn, I will say you earn a high tier, but you deserve the lowest pit of hell.
You know what? Fair enough on that one. So where are you thinking of? Where do you think he fits?
B tier because he has a very, very bastardized version of what idea of what Batman's trying to do, and that is getting criminals off the streets. Because this man has no sense of due process.
Oh, that's very true. I do remember that. Walker, aka not Mr. Freeze, going off the picture. Again, I don't know a thing about this guy.
Can't remember, but wasn't this the guy that like screwed over Joker with fake money?
No, that was King Barlow. Yeah, I got nothing.
He's on this list.
Yeah, Barlow's not. Which is
Walker.
Well, to be fair, he wasn't technically Batman's villain. In that episode, he was more of the Joker's enemy. And, yeah, he got him good.
Yeah. True. So, yeah, sorry, Walker. You're just not interesting enough to put on this list. Sorry.
Well, hang on. Deathstroke's not been put on this list, and the only reason he's not on the tier is because we haven't read the comics.
That's true.
Next up, we got good old Baldy.
Okay, I think I just kind of want to take this one on here real quick, boys, because there's no doubt about it. Lex Luthor is an iconic villain. However, here's the thing. I do think we should count him, but while Lex is clearly an S-tier villain, because this is based on Batman, I don't think we should give him S, just because he's technically not Batman's rogue. Officially.
That was exactly the sort of reasoning I was going to give for this guy, so,
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, Hunter, you get the reins on this one. Where do you want him?
I think, honestly, he's definitely A tier. Like, he's definitely above some of the other kooks we got on this list, for sure.
So this doesn't mean we still can't talk about why we like this Lex Luthor.
Oh, yeah, because
I still say this is the best Lex Luthor ever.
Oh, for sure. Hands down.
And easily could have been one that we could see live action played by Bryan Cranston. Warner Brothers.
You're never going to forgive them for that, are you?
No, we're not, dude.
Oh no, I still very much still pick that bone. I don't forget Warner Brothers.
I'm with Tommy on this. I'm with Tommy on this one, dude. I'm like, nothing
I'm
against Jesse
guys.
Nothing against Jesse Eisenberg, but just he doesn't scream Lex Luthor to me in Batman v Superman. He feels more like the frickin' Joker in that movie.
More Joker than Jared Leto. You can't tell me there wasn't some sort of like mix up in like all the casting plans back at headquarters. Like some yucks just scrambled the names in the computer and just.
Well, no, actually, what happened was, yeah, Justin, you told me this. Like, what happened, Tom, was that Jesse Eisenberg initially was trying to try out for the Riddler, but Warner Brothers decided, nope, you'd be better as Lex Luthor. I'm
Oh,
just
he would
like,
have been a
Like it or
million times
not.
better as the Riddler. Like, I don't
I
care if that makes
agree.
me sound like Cap.
Dude, he would look so dope in like a green business suit with a purple question mark on it and a top hat.
Exactly.
Well, it's a bowler hat, not a top hat, but you get. I get what you're trying to sell. All right, next we
Yeah,
got
like
Mercy,
Lex,
and it's gonna be
easy
a little
E.
bit of a duller. So one of them, it looks like if Captain Hook were juicing, but
Mercy, I think,
Mercy,
is an E.
Put Mercy with her boss.
yeah, I say put the girl with her boss.
You know what? I can't argue on that because she's very much she's basically to Lex what Harley is to the Joker, which is why I love in the crossover movie, but
Harley
for
Quinn
this
have
that
the
they did it.
rivalry.
They're just like I just love during the whole scene where Joker and Lex are having their little business meeting. Those two are just beating the shit out of each other, and neither of their
Hanging in
men are
this.
And neither
neither
of them
and
seem to
neither
give any of a damn.
I know.
Lex and Joker are just like taking. Are I just I just know Joker's like my money's on Harley because she can fight.
Just love it. How you hanging in there, slugger? A-okay, Mr. J.
They, yeesh.
Hips McManus. I don't know a single thing about this dude.
Yeah.
That's Hips McMahon. That is a failed rapper if I've ever heard it. Look at it. He's got that half-ass soul patch. It's just everything says I tried to get my first album out and they laughed me out of the recording booth.
Yup.
It's a little on the nose, don't you think? I mean, I agree with
Maybe,
it, yeah.
Dude, I really want somebody to just look over this and just. I want a tier list of the jokes I've made throughout this.
Boo. So, I guess we're not going to rank him since we don't know anything about him, or at least I don't remember anything, unless any of you guys got something.
I got nothing. No, hang on. I'm getting a look at this guy. This looks like somebody. This looks like somebody casted The Rock as Captain Hook, and literally did nothing else but just come up with the idea.
Enrique El Gancho. Think I remember this guy fondly.
X, I don't.
He was a one-off villain in one episode. This was the New Adventures. You can tell by the art style.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say he's at least a D because he's at least entertaining, but he's still just kind of he's not as forgettable as the guys that we have in F tier, but he's still just he's nothing super special. I got nothing.
Right.
Never Fear Guru. Don't even know who this guy is.
My offhand.
Salesman if we've ever seen one.
No, I've been pulling the whole used carsman shtick to for this tier list. This man, I mean, you can just tell this man just runs some sort of bull crap. Let's make a deal Chinese bootleg.
He's got a sweatshop in the back.
Look at that suit. Yeah, fool anyone. Only Harvey Dent can rock that white prom. Damn it! Oh, I had such a good joke and I had to get tongue tied. God damn it! I'm blaming you entirely on that one. The only tier list you deserve is the children you're forcing in that sweatshop. You jackass.
So I guess we're not ranking him, or if we are, we're putting him in F because he's just lame.
If I had to rank anything, it's just that man is going for the crimson chin levels of chin right there, but you might have to suck in some of that damn forehead, dude.
Right? Holy shit. So rank him or not rank him?
He is not worthy of a ranking. He's more worthy of the that suit is a that suit should be considered a damn war crime.
That suit should never see the light of day again. Firefly. All right. Next, we got a pretty good one next.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Everything about this guy says that his face was surgically enhanced. Only that I mean that man's face is filled with. I mean that man's face is filled with so much plastic. It probably raised Gotham's gas prices by like $1.
Damn.
I was gonna say, make Michael Jackson tell him to hold off.
No, it
So,
makes well.
you got-
Okay, I'll stop. But we're gonna be here all day. I've already been recording for 2 hours.
alright. Oh, what were we thinking of putting old
Well,
Firefly?
we're almost. Well, I think we're just about in the home stretch. I would say he's at least a B.
Yeah.
I love the direction that they made with him with like former pyrotechnician.
Yeah, that was cool. He was pretty neat.
Now I will say one thing. This name right here. I love the angle of
Roxy
just the
Rocket.
crazy stunt person. And all I will say is like that one scene with her and Bats in
On the rocket.
And I'm just gonna say this. You know, this
All the
woman
sexual
gives.
innuendo.
I'm just gonna say this. This woman has given plenty of men on set the time they will never forget. So much so that this was probably worth the hospital bills. And possibly
Roxy
the other
is
thing
just-
that I will not mention because, again, age restriction.
Roxy is just. Roxy is a fetish, and I love it. Like, I unapologetically love it. Although, the thing is, like, I watched a video on this chick a while back, boys, and the thing is, like, while she made her debut, she has gone on to appear in other things. Like Paul Dini, one of the writers for Batman the Animated Series, really latched onto the character so much so that in a lot of stuff that he wrote for other DCAU and even comics, he's always brought her back as just a little fun cameo. But it's like, the reality is, it's really hard to say if she really is a Batman villain. Like, I've in this video I watched the chick, the girl talking about her. I can't remember her name, sorry, but actually said she would be a really good villain for Hal Jordan's Green Lantern. And I completely agree.
Yeah.
Justin, your thoughts on this? I got so many other things to say, but I want to make sure you're included in this best I can.
No, I think Hunter said best. Although I do want to point out that Hunter once told me voice actress for her was in the Godzilla animated series as one of the main characters, Elsie Chaplin.
Yep, the voice actress for Elsie Chapman in Godzilla the series is the same dame who voices Roxy Rocket. When I realized that, I was like,
Sorry, I was supposed to say this. For those of you who have seen the Godzilla anime series, take a moment to wrap your mind around that.
Elsie Chapman was in Batman the Animated Series making sexual innuendos. Somewhere out there, a fanboy has a boner. I do.
I can only imagine, like, you could just. All I can say is that I feel so bad for whatever officer has to like search her at the precinct because she's gonna be asking questions of just like what the hell was this dame doing with Batman on that rocket?
She's a fetish and I love it. Honestly, I can't put Roxy any higher than a B. Like she belongs in the B's.
Okay.
Don't make a dirty joke. Don't make a dirty joke. Don't make a dirty joke. Don't make a dirty joke, Tom. Control yourself.
Calendar girl.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I gotta control myself because.
No, it's fine, bro.
So many jokes. So many jokes.
Next up, we have, is it Calendar Girl or Calendar Woman?
Cooler than Calendar Man, that's all I'm going to say. And a lot easier on the eyes.
I actually recently rewatched this episode, and I gotta say, I'm just going to say now, boys, I think she's also an easy B.
I'm going to say good on them for the switching of gender roles. Like, I mean, come on, let's face it. I mean, her henchmen were just... I mean, come on, that's swimsuit edition right there, boys. I ain't gay, but I know a good bod when I see it.
not either, Tom. But all I could say whenever I see her henchmen, especially like when they're just basically wearing like those nothing but like the like what is it like American like tidy whities or whatever. I'm just like, this is Chippendales dancers material, and I hate it
Oh,
because I
these guys.
wish I had that kind of bod.
Oh, you could tell. Like you could tell, these were guys that were getting up there in the male entertainment business, and she decided, honey, I've been there. Come on board. Phrasing.
I also just love the twist at the end because like the fact that she's hiding her face the whole episode, you think she's like horribly disfigured, but then when the mask comes off at the end, you're just like, we're like Babs, we're just like, it's beautiful.
Like woman, like she looks like she's still in her damn 20s. Like whoever kicked her off the modeling biz, mom, at bare minimum castration.
I call bullshit. This woman did not deserve to get canned. I'm just saying.
Right.
Let's just.
It's like honey, poison ivy, dude's automatic S.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask this: when are we gonna get past? When are we gonna get past the internet thirst traps so I can stop making this joke and hopefully still have Wolf be my friend still?
I think she'll understand, bro.
I'm worried.
Yeah, man.
She's gonna.
She's a true friend.
I'm hoping I'm not pissing her off with these jokes.
I don't think you are. I think she knows. I think she knows we're all in good fun.
I wonder if she stopped watching at this point.
Like she was ever watching to begin with.
All right. Well, I've already. All right. I've already like. I'll let you. I'll let you guys. Have at it with this one for a little bit. If there's anything to miss, I'm gonna add in. I'm just gonna get a little more water for no particular reason.
No particular reason. Okay. Justin, like I said, with Pam, automatic S. I mean,
Yeah.
it's poison ivy. She's just, come on. Like, next to Catwoman and Harley, she's easily one of the best femme fatales in the series.
Well, I mean, the three of them do make up the Gotham Sirens.
That's true. Though at least of the three, one of them is at least redeemable. The other two,
yeah.
Oh, that's gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah.
Especially Pammy, because Pammy is straight up eco-terrorist.
Yeah, I think
yeah, we all know some of the crazy shit she's done. I mean, in the first episode, she straight up poisons poor Harv. And it's amazing that even as Two-Face, he still holds that against her. One half, one...
He's like, wants to shoot you, and the other half, run you over with a truck.
That's so... Oh, seriously, that was both sides. Question is, which side wants to shoot her, and which side wants to run her over? I need to know this. Like, which one was Rack and which one was Ruin in Cyberverse? I need to know, damn it!
If I was to guess, I would assume the Scar side is the one that wants to run her over with the truck.
That's the more violent side.
Yeah. Bad Harvey.
Or the lawyer side, because let's I mean, he could probably like miracle some insurance premium BS out of that. Sorry, lawyer joke.
Probably.
Now damn it. Now that I'm thinking about it, now I want to see Harvey Dent played by Bob Odenkirk.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with me. Like, I just want Breaking Bad actors and like DC related stuff.
Oh, dude, that's because they could all work.
Now I want. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's something wrong with me. Now I can see Aaron Paul playing Jason Todd.
That would be something.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
So we all agree Pam's S tier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought I was the thirsty one.
Next up, Farmer Brown. Next up, we got Farmer Brown. I don't know anything about this.
Oh, I remember this guy. Like, this is what happens when you mix the sort of temper of a southern farmer and the and the loose screws of a geneticist, my friends. Those are the
Oh,
two forces of nature you never want to combine.
yikes.
Seriously, this
Yeah.
man has the temper. I mean, seriously, the temper of the temper of the Puritans, lacking scientific morals of of Dr. Frankenstein.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I remember this one now. Oh, yeah.
I helped jar your memory.
Yes, yeah, this dude's creepy.
Makes you
He
wonder
kind
how
of
he.
looks like if
It makes you
he
wonder
kind of looks
what.
like
Sorry.
he kind of looks like Dr. Animo from Ben 10 if he was really anemic.
No, he looks like he looks like Animo if he was posing for that like what's that painting with like the two farmers?
The farmer and his wife. I can't remember what the painting's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because of the
Yeah.
damn pitchfork.
Not to
I
mention
will
they'll
say
lose the
one thing:
farm.
if you even, I get that reference. Like
Absolutely.
Justin Hunter, you agree with me? Like somehow like you'll take your chances more with a guy coming out with a 12 gauge than if you try to
Than a
like
pitchfork.
that like because you know what this man will make it it's you know he will make you beg for that buckshot.
Yup.
Yeah.
I say
So what do
B
we think?
tier just
Wait,
because
Like,
like it was just because it was such a unique take on the crazed geneticist. Because this guy's a farmer, and farmers in a way do genetically modify their livestock and plants. You know, they have to pick
you
the
know what?
best crops for their harvests.
You know what? You
Point.
convinced me.
Good point.
I can't. You know what? I can't.
Now, you can never guess just by looking at Brown's daughter that she just looks like a sweet little Southern belle until you realize that this woman could probably do origami with your spine.
Emmy Lou. Hot though. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. When I
The
first saw the
women in the
picture,
show
I
are
thought
hot.
that was Harley. Not gonna lie. When I first saw the picture there, boys, I thought, why is Harley on the list twice?
Them blondes, man.
Seriously. So where are we thinking of putting Emmy? With her dad?
With her dad. She wasn't really a goon. She was the partner in crime.
Oh, she very much
Uh,
was. I agree.
I mean, keep in mind, she
All
just
right.
lifted. I mean,
this bastard.
she lifted Bullock over her head like a damn, like she was just lifting up a damn beach ball.
Yeah, and Bullock's a big guy.
Yeah. Now this bastard. Guy that
Sewer King.
almost caused. Guy that almost made Batman break his moral code.
This man straight up almost made just Bruce snap for what he was doing to those children in the sewers.
You know, I just love it. He's like, but know this. This time I was tempted.
Yeah, that was. I remember that one. That was a dark episode.
Easy
No,
B
right?
tier at the very least.
I agree.
You know what? I can't argue that. Again, the fact that this guy almost made Bruce break his moral code, that's an accomplishment in and of itself, gentlemen.
Like I said, I just love how, he basically tells him, like, I was this close to just letting you die.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. I think I remember. For a second, I thought it was Cuvier from Batman Beyond, but no, it's just
says his name, boss.
yeah, it was this guy leading this whack ass cat cult that Selena found herself in. Sweetie, you really gotta find new friends.
Agreed. I don't remember this episode that much, so Tom, you got the reins on this one.
Oh, it has been so damn long since I've seen it, but yeah, just Selena got sort of. I'm not even gonna try. I don't think we should touch this one because I can't remember at all.
So, All right, so not ranking.
Oh, this piece of shit. This
Thomas.
absolute goddamn blob. Seriously, this looks like if Eric Cartman tried to audition for The Godfather.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that thing. Look at his chin. It's a goddamn water balloon. Looking like Dexter Chester from Attack of the Clones. Trying to wear a human disguise.
I think that's a tumor.
Not a tumor.
That is not a tumor. Yeah. That man got impregnated by a face hugger, and it's just holding on. And now the chest burster is just suffocating under all the fat.
Damn.
You shouldn't even try to throw a battery at it. It's probably just going to absorb it like fucking Majin Buu.
Quizmaster in The Batman.
I think we found out who's the daddy.
Oh, Jesus, no. Somebody's going to make a slash fic of that now.
Oh, like you haven't given them ammo already?
Fair enough.
Where are we going to put this fat son of a bitch?
Well, considering he was literally using slave labor, he's obviously a piece of shit.
Yeah.
F worst. I hate him. Get him out of here.
Okay, I'll agree.
Next up, we have another character.
Wait, I have another one. Wait, I have another. Ah, damn it! I thought I had another one.
Clarion the Witch Boy, another DC villain who's technically not a Batman villain.
He's technically nobody's villain. He's kind of causing trouble all over the DC universe.
I have a firm no comment on this guy.
Well, when you put it that way, Justin, because you are technically right, that means technically he is kind of fair game.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing with two other guys on this list.
If I had to be honest, I would give Clarion at least a B. And the reasoning is because in almost all of his depictions, he's clearly a powerhouse of a villain. And that definitely has some sway with me. But the thing that keeps him from getting any higher is just his personality's kind of lame. He's just kind of a bratty little kid.
I'll give you that one. And God, I had way too much fun with some of these roasts I come up with.
No, it's all right, man. Next up, we got Carlton Duquesne.
I don't remember this guy.
Either, so I guess we could just skip him.
Yeah. Live wire.
Yeah. And kind of causing trouble all over the DC universe, but I think
the one thing I will never be okay with is the fact that that her outfit is literally just electrons, and oh my god, once again, the 90s providing the internet so much ammunition to be stored decades later.
Wire, again, I think the only reason we're counting her here is because she was in another crossover special between
technically
Batman
she
and
was
Superman's
a
cartoon.
Batgirl villain.
Yeah, because that was the episode where Batgirl and Supergirl had to take on
Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn
and Livewire, which I remember that episode was fun.
Yeah, and also led to yet another DCAU ship for our favorite redheaded Bat family member and our favorite blonde Kryptonian.
Oh yeah, people ship these two so much to the point where I'm just like, the fuck did this happen?
I bet.
So,
I'm gonna out myself. They've been chipping at me. It's been chipping at me.
I mean, I can see why, but it's like, I don't get it.
Guys, keep it in your pants. Guys, keep it in your pants.
Dude, let's face it. When we got the Roxanne Rocket, let's face it, when we got there, just that went out the window.
Basically, honestly, I think Livewire's another B because she's super fun. She's just actually, you know what? I could make an argument for her being A tier because even though we're not counting comics into stuff, there is a tie-in comic for the DC animated universe, specifically the Superman side of things, where he actually ends up saving Superman's life. And as a result, like
Yeah.
she finally realizes Superman is not, it's her fault she ended up the way she did. It's not Superman's. So she finally learns to let go of her hatred, and she actually starts turning her life around as a result. I think it was actually said later on she actually became a full-on superhero.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Well,
lie. That's actually pretty. That's actually pretty dope. I
yeah.
ain't lying, and it's a good thing because that saved me from like. Okay, I know I'm still gonna make this joke anyway because if she were in the B tier with Roxanne, I would have just said, "Oh man, now it's gonna be a party."
I mean, we could still put her in the B for the party if you want.
No, no, no. I won't force the
Just kidding,
joke.
I can't.
Yeah.
No, it's all right.
We're putting
Deadshot.
old. So we're putting old Lloyd. Or,
Floyd
sorry,
Lawton,
Lloyd
aka.
Lochner.
My question is this: I don't know what old Bruce whispered into Homeboy's ear to get him to 180 on talking on his client, but
It
yeah,
was bad enough.
it had to have been bad enough.
Oh yeah, like honestly, Lawton for me, boys, I think he's an automatic A tier.
I love that this design for Floyd was brought back in Justice League Action.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like. And to be fair, if you think about it, technically this design for Lloyd has kind of been referenced all over the place because even Will Smith's Deadshot
Had
has
a very.
this same.
I don't care what anyone says. I thought Will Smith did great as Deadshot.
I liked him.
Yeah. I don't really blame any of the
I thought
actors
I
in that movie.
don't either. But I think Will Smith just did a really good job of humanizing Lawton and making us understand who's behind the hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copperhead.
Okay, if this was the Arkham games, I would say automatic S just because that Copperhead is badass and I love her.
I love the subtle
But this is
reference of like these records reference a male, not a female. It's sort of like a
Right.
jab that they gender bent Copperhead in that one.
Right.
well, to be fair, they also say in that game though they also make clear in Arkham Origins that technically there have been multiple individuals who have taken the name Copperhead. It's just an alias.
It's sort of been the approach I was going with for Copperhead and my thing for a little bit. Shameless plug.
I
I'm
don't.
I'm perfect.
It's a hardness though.
I'm perfect fine with that. This
So
Copperhead, I would say D just because I don't hate him, but
Not
I don't hate him
as.
enough to put him in the F tier. He's just not very memorable.
now I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you two handle this schmuck that just caused all the razzmatazz for Gotham. Well, meanwhile, I gotta answer Nature's call, and she's been leaving me a lot of voice messages.
Okay.
Alright. So
So,
we're gonna put the man that
oh,
pretty much made
yeah.
Batman. Joe
Like
Chill.
it's like it's because of that reason alone. It's like I feel like needs to be S tier, but at the same time, I don't think it's completely right to give it to him.
Yeah, because let's be fair, the only appearances he's made in the show are in flashbacks.
Time in anything, and we're not counting it here because it's a different show. But the only time where Joe Chill was brought back into the spotlight in a main villain spotlight role was in Batman: The Brave and the Bold in that one episode.
Yeah, which was actually a reference to one of the comics. So
Which
where do
I
you want
still
to
love
put
that
him? Because
episode,
I'm
though. Don't get
thinking,
me wrong.
I do too.
I think he's at
What are
least
we
A.
thinking?
I think he's at least an
Like,
I think at least A.
I
Because
was thinking B, but
I say A. I say A mostly just because again he is vitally important in the Batman mythos. Like, so that does have a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
is
sway with
true.
me, I will admit. Because again, it's like this is the guy who made Bruce the Batman. So if nothing alone, that definitely, I think, elevates him above some of the other schmucks that we have in the other tiers.
So we're
Right.
replacing this murdering son of a bitch.
Hey,
Hey, it is.
Well,
Oh,
like I said, I feel, yeah, we're putting him in A. Don't get me wrong. Like, I said this to when you were, but like, vitally important to the Batman mythos. It's like it feels like he should be an S tier, but it also just doesn't feel right to put him there because I just feel like compared to some of the other characters we have there, he doesn't really stand toe to toe with them.
yeah. I don't think we need the full recap. I mean, you know, I'll be able to hear it once I post this.
No,
Next we
no, I'm
got
just saying.
next we got Jason Woodrow, the Floronic Man from the Batman and Harley Quinn movie, which it's debatable the weight this has on the canon of the DCAU. I've heard.
eh. Honestly,
I
I haven't
guess,
even seen that
I
movie,
guess
so
I have.
F.
I think I okay. Here's what I think we should do, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just include him, but I feel like it's only because like while there's not enough proof that yeah, it is canon to the DCAU, there's also nothing that says this movie isn't canon to the DCAU. So it's really one of those things where I feel like
It's a
it's
kind of
really up to the individual.
or it could
In
be
other
a
words,
similar
it's a
thing with like
soft
Star
canon.
Wars with like Star Wars Legends versus Star Wars canon. With like
Yeah.
you know how sometimes
Well,
like characters or events will be taken from Legends and brought back to the canon, just not exactly the same. I feel like this can be a similar thing here. Like we could have similar things where like yeah maybe we did have some sort of issues with the Floronic Man, and maybe Bruce did had to come into Harley Quinn because of what's going on with Ivy. As to the exact specifics, I guess it can be debated.
yeah.
Nevertheless, I think Floronic Man was still interesting. Like he was fun. I think he's at least a C tier villain because he is pretty memorable in his own right.
And he was voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, so you can never go wrong with a character voiced by
Oh,
him.
Yeah,
totally. Dude's got an awesome
agree.
voice. Dude's got an epic voice.
Now we get to one of the once again we finally get to the more grounded but still very much compelling villains in the roster. Don Rupert Thorne.
Guy who's been causing trouble throughout the DCAU,
And
Oh,
again,
yeah.
I feel like
not
Thorne was
just
just sort
Batman.
of a. I feel like Thorne was just sort of a like a way to just avoid gangsters like hang on my cat.
Mhm.
Anyway, like I was saying, did you guys hear that? I hope my mic was muted.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh,
Okay, good.
didn't he?
Anyway,
I heard everything.
so yeah, I feel
No,
like
just kidding.
I
Don't
don't
listen
know.
to me.
Just something tells me about like with like Thorne and Stromwell. I feel like it was sort of DC's attempt to replace Falcone and Maroni,
Maroni.
but they still managed to handle it really good, especially with like that just the gang war going on and the very mafia feel throughout this. Like
Oh, for
Thorne
sure.
did still feel interesting, especially with some of the big moves he played, like bringing in Bane, and he was the catalyst of what happened to Harvey in the series. So that has to be a big
And,
factor into where he places.
you're talking to the wrong Harvey.
But honestly, I would say he's very much an A tier villain.
Like I said, like I mentioned, he's pretty much caused trouble throughout the DCAU.
Exactly.
I would remember that one episode of Justice League when Flash is trying to interrogate him. He's
That
like,
was a fun episode.
just love it. He's like, kid, I've given He's like, I've given up so much information to Batman, and I'll tell you, you are no Batman. And Flash just drops him off the building. He's like, I love how Flash is just running alongside him as he's falling. He's like, feel like talking now? He's like, all right.
You know that man just. You know that man just dropped a load in his pants. I mean, granted, you probably couldn't tell. His ass looks like 155 pounds of chewed bubblegum.
Yeah, but for a big guy, he can surprisingly hit like a mofo.
Right.
Again, it's like the Godfather, only they casted the guy who played Gomer Pyle.
I mean, hell, why not? I mean, he pretty much is playing playing Kingpin in the MCU.
What shit? That's the same actor?
Yes, that's Vincent D'Onofrio.
That's the same guy who played Pyle. And holy shit!
Yes.
Holy God! Holy
Yes,
mother of God!
I didn't know that at all. That's Pyle.
Yes, that's Private Pyle.
Oh my God! Hartman did turn him into a killer. No wonder he's still angry. Hartman's ghost has been haunting him since Vietnam.
Did you say Hunter?
You're blowing my fucking mind right now, bro.
Holy shit.
Oh my God. I cannot unsee that, and I love it. I'll get used to that.
Okay, someone out there, I'm giving this idea for free. Somebody please just take quotes from R. Lee Ermey and just put them over him just screaming his head off at the Kingpin, calling him Private Pyle. Please, I will pay you to do it.
Hell yeah. Alright, so next up we got Thorne's hench girl, Candace, who, can I just say, again, hot as hell.
You can say that about all the chicks in this animated series.
Tell me...
Or the DCAU in general.
I mean, hell, Bruce Timm, even just for the hell of it, he literally made an entire porn art book with a lot of the characters from this series.
What?
Had you ever heard of it? It's called Bruce Timm's Naughty and Nice.
I gotta look this up later.
Let's just tell the entire viewing audience we're pathetic simping nerds without telling them we're pathetic simping nerds.
Right. Anyway, back to the list. Where are we gonna put this chick?
Well, I could hear PewDiePie screaming into my head right now.
Honestly, I think we should put Candace in the B with some of the other girls, and now we can say it's the party.
Okay.
Because, like, I liked her, but I think she's only worthy of B.
I'm so tempted to quote Laverne's Tucker, but I'm better than that. I'm a better comedian than that. I'm better than that.
All right, Tommy.
Don't worry, I can do it. Don't worry, I'll do it. Bow chicka bow wow.
My conscience is clear that somebody else made that shitty joke.
Bow chicka bow wow, bow wow. Anyways,
right.
Tom, I think we all know you have a soft spot for this guy. Tommy, we know you got a soft spot for this guy.
Oh, he is one of my favorites.
Take it away, Tommy.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
We are looking at one of the biggest gut punches. We got hints and pieces of him sprinkled throughout the first parts. That cheeky little reference to him in Man-Bat's episode, his near-death experience with the lovely Poison Ivy, and now we finally dive into the psyche of Gotham's DA, the man who probably knows how to wear a nice white suit as opposed to plastic surgery gone wrong Monty Hall and the Blob over here. Harvey Two-Face Dent. I don't think I really need to explain too much why this works so much. Not only as a villain standpoint, not only in telling the struggles of split personalities, not only in just how gruesome it is to watch his big bad Harv be manifested, and the sheer impact that it had on Bruce throughout the series.
I know.
You don't, and trust me, putting him in the S tier isn't even a question for his coin, because both sides are
No.
telling me to put it on put him on the S tier, or one half wants to knock out my teeth, while the other one wants to empty that Tommy gun into my belly.
Ooh. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
no one's
I
arguing there, man.
know, like Two-Face, he is easily one of, like, as far as like actual tragic villains in the Batman mythos goes, Harvey is one of my favorites in that category.
Oh yeah.
There's another one then that also fits that, and if you
Fits
guys,
himself.
you guys probably are, yeah, but I just want to ask in advance, are you guys okay if I take the reins on that one? Because that's one of my favorites of all time.
He's
Go ahead.
all yours.
So next up we got Harvey's hench guys.
Which I love
Min
that
and
they were
Max.
two guys that he actually prosecuted as DA and brought along.
Yeah.
And I also love that they got a spot in the Batman and Harley Quinn series singing as a duet. Like,
That was pretty fun.
that was great. I love that entire scene at that bar, just because you could, like, just playing bingo with how many of the goons you can pick out in the crowd.
Right? I think it's a C for them. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, who's this next Joe?
Oh,
Arnold Stromwell.
oh, his episode is so damn good.
Take it away, Tommy.
Justin, do you have any thoughts on this guy?
Uh,
Oh, I love this arc for this character. It starts out as a Godfather as just gang dispute. Bruce is kind of just more of like the ghost of Christmas future, guiding Stromwell to show him really what this empire has done. He has made just he wears he sit he wears a crown of thorns on a liar's chair. Please, I hope somebody gets that reference. He sees what his drug empire has done to his son, to his family, what damage is done to so many people. He's seeing that all he's gotten is a target on his back. And yes, I said it. They did not sugarcoat it. This guy is a drug. This guy runs a drug racket.
yeah, amazing they were able to get away with
And
that.
seeing that scene with him and Father Michael, learning that despite the priest losing his leg, he still sees Stromwell as his friend. He still has hope for Stromwell. Such
Yeah, that
a
is a
moving episode that, quite frankly, just oh my god, this was a Saturday morning cartoon. You don't
That's
have
very much
you
what-
you don't have to go so nuts on my heartstrings like a
Any other-
pianist. You just don't. But why did you?
Like I said, that's
Because the-
probably how most people saw the show for the first time back in the '90s. Thought, but this is a Saturday morning cartoon.
I mean, again, there's a reason why even the critics, when we're comparing this to the movies at the time, we're like, why is it that the Saturday morning cartoon is more mature than the made-for-cinema feature-length movies?
PG-13. Yeah. That are
So I want to
PG-13.
put him in the A tier just because of how damn moving that episode was.
Oh,
Give it
you
to
will
you,
not
man.
get any argument. You will not get any
Yeah.
arguments.
Sold
Justin,
them to
do
me,
you want
you
to have?
shark. You sold to me, you shark.
That was not even me trying to sell it. That was me just pouring my heart out.
I agree.
Uh,
Justin, you want to take crack at this next guy?
Well, I think it's quite obvious he's an S tier. I mean, come on. It's probably Batman's second most iconic. Oh, next to the Joker. It's the Penguin.
Such a dashing fellow, isn't he? And honestly, this isn't the same show, but anyone who Tom Kenny could like give his like classic laugh and actually make it sound threatening is clearly like. I just love that initially he was so based on Danny DeVito's performance, and
Right.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I can never unsee that now.
The thing I like about Penguin in this show, like, and I love that every series has its own spin on him. But the thing I love
Right.
about the animated universe Penguin is that he was very much like the gentleman businessman, but with a little bit of a mobster in him too.
That's kind of how he
He's like a
was in the
Bond villain.
comics. It's always kind of how he's been in the
Yeah, but like,
comics as well.
yeah, but I will say, I think I kind of maybe it's just because I have such a huge soft spot for the Arkham games boys, but I love the Arkham games depiction of him where he's just such a bastard that you can't help but love him.
Nolan, and it
No,
helps that he's voiced by Nolan North.
I know, right? Surprisingly,
That's
doing a
the sound.
surprisingly good job at hiding his voice.
Oh, I could
That's
tell
the
that was
sound of
Nolan.
an undercover cop. That's the
And
sound of an
just
undercover
doing
cop
a
having his hands through, like his best at a cockney accent.
that Cockney
Like,
accent.
now let's see what happens when we take this hammer and
Ah!
would you look at that? His whole bloody hand exploded.
And I just love the. We're going off on a tangent, but I love the design choice that they just took the bottom of a beer bottle and just shoved it into his face.
Yes. I love that too. That's so good. All right. So we're all agreed Penguin's S tier, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
I
no
know some
question
people are
at
gonna
all,
say we're
chaps.
biased. I know people are gonna say we're biased there, but you know what? I don't care. He deserves it. Now, oh boy.
All right. I'm
Character
just
that
Boys,
not,
went
let
through
me
the
just say
maze.
this, Justin. I want you to take the rings on this, and if anyone who doubts this solely because of old Arnie's performance, I want you to warm their cold hearts.
oh, I will gladly. Now, boys,
I mean,
those of you for those who don't know, now again, everybody knows Joker is definitely the most iconic Batman villain ever. Hands down. But
right.
boys, I am not joking when I say it is because of this cartoon. Mr. Freeze is my favorite villain in all of Batman. Just because this guy. Now, for those, a little bit of a quick history lesson for the viewers that don't know this. When Mr. Freeze first debuted in comics, he was very much just a stereotypical joke villain because he was a stereotypical evil German character because given the time period that he was, written in.
And of
And he
course,
was
there was the
basically one of
Hayes
those
Code.
exactly.
That's what it was
So for
called.
and right, and for years Freeze
Those
was
who don't
literally just
know,
that.
I'm
He was
sorry.
one of those villains that no, it's all right, man. Freeze for years was just one of those villains that you never could take serious just because he was just a joke. Even in like seriously, even in the Adam West show, he was just a joke. But
And
then
for those of
Batman
you
the
who,
Animated Series.
sorry, can I just say this one thing? Can I just
Go
Justin,
right
explain a
ahead.
little?
okay, Justin. But after that, Justin, just let him finish.
All right.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead with what you were saying.
But
But
like
I wanted to give it to Hunter. But Justin, go ahead.
All right. I was going to say, for those of you who don't know, the Hayes Code, I believe that's what it's called, was basically just a guideline of what media could and could not show. And one of the things they definitely could not show was the villains being in any way competent or sympathetic, because they really wanted to push the whole crime doesn't pay moral.
thank
All right.
God those days are
Yeah,
over.
but sorry,
I know, right?
Justin. Just
No, it's all good. But like, yeah, like
Alright.
Justin said, like honestly, Justin, what you said actually kind of added some much needed context. So thank you. But yeah,
Yeah.
but for years, Freeze was just a joke character. Nobody could take him seriously. Like I said, not even in the Adam West show. Even there, he was just a joke. But then Batman the Animated Series comes along and decides, we're actually going to make you give a damn about this character.
And
And in
boy,
his
did they ever.
debut episode, like just like there's a reason why the Arkham games and so many other versions of Mr. Freeze have borrowed heavily from his animated version, simply because they really made this character, honestly, in my opinion, next to Harvey Dent, in my opinion, is actually, I would even argue, boys, he and Harvey are honestly tied for first place as far as sympathetic Batman villains go, just because, but for different reasons, I would say. Like, would you agree or would you disagree?
I agree.
You are preaching to the damn choir, my friend. He's
The
like
thing,
his episode won a freaking Emmy.
exactly. Not only like the thing about Mr. Freeze that just makes him such a great, compelling, and honestly sympathetic villain is the fact that this man had everything a guy could want to be happy. He had a successful career. He had a loving wife who he loved more than anything in the world, like even more than his career. And it was all taken from him just because some douchebag who wants to pretend he's humanitarian didn't like spending money on stuff that he thought was pointless, like saving lives.
Right. Well, that and, well, you know, nature being cruel.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like the thing about Freeze that just makes him so compelling, in my opinion, boys, is the fact that he's so believable and that he really does make you question. You know, it's kind of like I love that whole thing where that debate between him and Batman, where Batman says, "Are you willing?" Basically, ask, "Are you even gonna? Are you willing to kill everyone in the room just to get your revenge on one person?" And Freeze basically just tells him, "Yes, Batman, kill for that." And it just makes you stop and question, my opinion. Would you be any different if you were in this man's shoes? If everything you loved and held dear was taken away, you know,
And
your whole life was turned upside down, would you not want to get payback on the person who did this to you?
Freeze
Pretty
was
much.
basically condensed in his own cryo hell. He can never live the life he once had, even if Nora was cured. He's forever trapped within that suit. He can never again step out in the world outside of any sub-zero temperatures. And we saw how that condition deteriorated him more and more, all the way up to Batman Beyond, where it seemed like he finally had hope again, but it was dashed
Only for
away.
and like his final appearance in Batman Beyond, I think is honestly like, can I just say, like, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy who voices Mr. Freeze, no joke, boys, is the same guy who voices Helga Pataki's dad from Hey Arnold.
Really? Wait, you think that's?
God damn.
I'm ser- I'm serious. That's him.
I want to say I think
I
that's Maurice Lamar, if I'm
think
correct.
it might be. Might be.
Also voiced the Brain in Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, Maurice Lamar is just a fucking legend in the voice acting world.
Oh
But
yeah,
just
definitely.
like like his final performance as Mr. Freeze in Batman Beyond, I think was probably his magnum opus of a performance as the character, even topping what he did with Freeze in the Arkham games. Like, no lie, boys, just because I especially just find the ending of that episode so impactful. Terry's like, Freeze, we got to get out of here. The whole place is coming down. And Freeze just tells him, believe me, my boy, you are the only one who cares. It's like
Yeah.
Freeze at this point just wants it all to end. He's just embracing death at this point.
Yeah. I
And
say
Just
we gotta.
yeah,
I say we just end this tier list on just that magnum,
that
as you
high of a
described
note.
it, the magnum opus. So, some
oh
closing
yeah.
thoughts. These are our thoughts for the tier list. Justin, for as for maybe as little as you, yeah. Let me say that again. Justin, thanks for coming. Even though you kind of chose to be a little more quiet, I did appreciate hearing some stuff from you. And sorry I was being such a dick.
It's okay.
I
I
just
don't know. I
want.
just felt like when I mentioned the Hayes Code thing that people kind of needed to know what it was.
I
It was
understand.
kind of
I agree.
bullshit.
Yeah, I understand. You know,
Just
Hunter, thanks for providing such a voice for this. Both of you, honestly,
Hey,
thank you for providing such a voice for this. I've been meaning to do
hey,
this for a
man.
long time.
Hey, man. I was glad to be a part of this, and I'm glad we finally got to
yeah.
put it out.
Yeah, this was
Oh
like I
I mean,
yeah.
said.
again,
This.
like we said at the beginning, this is kind of, and yes, it's a little belated. We realize that, folks, but this is kind of our tribute to the late great Kevin Conroy. May
Conroy.
he forever rest in peace. Like this show, I'm sure for many of you, just like it is the same for us, was our childhoods. This show, showed us that superheroes could be more than just flashy colors and just, you know, guys in
Corny
spandex. It's
one-liners.
Yeah,
Corny
and
like
one-liners.
Batman the Animated Series gave us some of the most compelling villains ever. And even and some not so compelling villains by given how we ranked some of them. But again, I feel like we were fair and object with our opinions as we typically tend to be.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, this was. I mean, this the villains alone gave such a segue for just showing you just how amazing the storytelling this was for a Saturday morning cartoon.
Exactly. And to
It
think,
Hey,
you know, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead,
It's
Justin.
like I was gonna say yes because let's remember before this, nobody took kids' cartoons seriously. It
nope.
was all just dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs.
But yeah, I just
Exactly.
we couldn't
Not,
even, and even that we couldn't really just. These are the villains alone. And even that, it wasn't just the perfect segue into everything that was just so incredible about the show. Like the actors' performances, again, especially Kevin. And it's going to be so bittersweet hearing that voice one last time come the newest Suicide Squad game coming out. It's it's going to be really hard. I'm not going to bullshit. It's going to be really hard because once you get through those parts with him, that's it.
That-
That that will be the very very last time we hear that voice for that character again. And the story behind Kevin, how he got the part, and how what he's done for this fandom and his interactions, it cannot be understated or overstated rather.
mm,
no, it cannot.
I
That's
just
why we
want,
man
love him.
is a freaking legend.
and
Man is a freaking legend.
it did, as hard as it was, it warmed my heart to see so many like creators just on YouTube alone, like just it just really tells you how much this man meant to all of us as a community. His tact as an actor, his commitment to his role, just everything. And
For many,
it's just incredibly hard.
it's like
And
keep like you often see people ask this big debate of a question like who's the best Batman actor? Is it Christian Bale? Is it uh
Michael, Michael
is it
Keaton.
Keaton? Is it, Ben Affleck? I would actually say honestly, the best Batman actor is Kevin Conroy because this man was the Batman.
Based in many ways, I think a lot of people said it best. He kind of embodied, he pretty much embodied everything that made Batman Batman. Being both the hulking badass hero, but also the human
yeah,
as
and
well.
Man behind the man behind the cowl.
we're going on this to
Exactly.
say this isn't just us being just like nerdy or anything. This is us respecting the man himself for what he provided in his craft and for giving us a character that, let's face it, probably gave us a lot of hope in pretty tough times when we were all growing up.
And even
So
still to this day, if you think about it.
so as much shade as we might throw DC and Warner Brothers for some choices, I want to say this to Bruce Timm, to all the writers of the animated series, to all the current writers for DC, to Mark Hamill and any cast members of the animated series that even have the slightest chance of catching this part, despite all the crass humor and whatnot. I just want to say thank you for giving children hope, for bringing to light such an amazing character, and for inspiring so many artists. Kevin,
from the bottom of our hearts, folks, just thank you
we hope
for
you rest
everything.
in peace.
Say hi to Adam for us, would you? Thank you all for watching this.
And if so, Kevin, if you can hear us from heaven, tell Adam West we said hi.
Totally.